Hello and welcome back to the 007 First Light Deepest Dive here at MinnMax. I'm Leo Vader. We got the whole cast here. Jacob Geller.
Zap.
Jeff Marchiafava.
I don't have glasses that shoot smoke out, I guess.
Yeah, another iconic gadget. And Michael Huber.
Damn it.
Hello.
And of course,
Greetings.
Haley MacLean here in spirit. She'll be here joining us shortly, but she had a real job thing pop up. So
She was on a date with someone, and then a secret agent called, and so she had to pretend she was in the bathroom and guide him through a complicated series of events.
Yeah.
wow, that's what she should be doing right now, sneaking into the bathroom.
I would
to do this deepest dive.
trust her to do that. I would trust her to get me through a complicated situation from a bathroom phone call.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get to this incredible giveaway we have right now. We were just talking about how 007 First Light is kind of like if Hitman and Sifu had a baby. Well, guess what, baby? We're doing a Sifu giveaway.
Yo!
Yeah. The deadline is June 18th. We're looking for brand new supporters or anybody who upgrades to the Backstage Pass tier for any of the many extended travelogues we've got going on right now. The Summer Game Fest one is up. We're putting the Tokyo one up. I don't know if that's up yet, but tons of long form extended travelogues and other benefits at the Backstage Pass tier. And you'll get Sifu, one of the best action games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time.
Same. Don't skip.
Don't skip. And it's if you're excited, if you saw The Furious and you want to play The Furious at home, it's a great game for you, right, Jacob?
That's right.
Fantastic. It's all thanks to Kepler, who also has a big sale going on for all their other games they publish, like Expedition 33, Rematch, Scorn, Bionic Bay, Pacific Drive, Chia, and more. Like half of those have been on my top 10s. What a selection.
Good stuff.
That is.
Thanks, Kepler. Again, that's a giveaway for brand new supporters or upgraders to the Backstage Pass tier. Check the description to see if we have run out of codes. We'll update there. In this section, we're talking about everything up until after the Knightfall mission, when you are heading out on the next one after Knightfall. But it's time to get into the Deepest Dive Part 2. I predict this will be more divisive of a section than the first one. But we'll see where we go on that. First up, of course, is most common comment. Our patrons at the $2 tier or above, any tier, submitted their thoughts on our Google Doc here. And what do you think is the most common one we got?
I would like to guess that it is the ease at which James Bond makes $100,000. Just like, hey, I got to get myself to that pirate market, shoot 5 targets, and be handed a nice $30K.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Holy sh**.
I'll guess some level of combat fatigue with some of the action sequences.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll guess, what's the deal with Lenny Kravitz?
Great question.
I am not sure if there's a better system for calculating most common comment, but from my scrolling, I do think Lenny Kravitz's character Bavma got the most comments, and not all positive, or rather I'll say all not positive, I think.
I was working hard to have a positive thought about him, and I don't think I figured one out.
Yeah,
I feel like
you could.
there is an interesting backstory, buried deep under there. We just didn't get it.
Yeah, it's the first big chapter of this section is the market and a left that Lenny Kravitz's Bavma is kind of the leader of, and you get your intro that somebody did make a very good comparison here. Let me find it. I think if there is a positive thing to say, it is about the world building. Like, it's an interesting place you're getting here. This market built within the shipyard and the apartments built out.
I like all of that.
For sure.
Super cool.
And so when he talks, you get a little bit of a better understanding of how it's actually functioning, which is a positive. But Contrabase wrote in, I didn't have Far Cry villain cringe on my bingo card, but Bavma sure delivered that. As soon as he appeared, I immediately clocked that he was going to do the kind of classic, quiet, pseudo-philosophical speech before killing a guy trope that Ubisoft has ran into the ground, and he did exactly that. At least he only showed up in 2 cutscenes or so. That's another positive.
Here's what I'll say to that. Often, Far Cry villains are giving a performance. Whereas Lenny, I was like, oh, what voice is he gonna have? Lenny Kravitz 30 minutes after waking up is what voice Bava has.
Right.
I was hoping he would ham it up, like really lean into this kind of absurd type of character. Again, this like pirate king of this, criminal area. So like have a little fun with it. And it felt like he was just like playing it a little safe.
Yeah. And it's also weird because it's not a game that's had a bunch of cameos in it. So it's so weird that like this is the cameo. It's someone. Why would you pick him in the first place? No offense to Lenny Kravitz, but and so like the follow through, the mental follow through from that would be, okay, well, he must give one hell of a performance then, and then he doesn't, and it's just like, what, why did any of this happen?
Yeah, because I came around to it initially, like when it was announced, I was like, that's weird, but then like a day later, I was like, you know what? That's kind of inspired. I'm kind of hyped to see this Lenny Kravitz performance in a Bond game, and yeah, it just was like fine for me. In the end,
I hadn't seen any preview trailers or anything, so I didn't know he was going to be in it. So when I saw the character model, I was like, that looks like Lenny Kravitz. And then a few minutes later, I was like, I think that is Lenny Kravitz. What is happening?
Is so funny.
Yeah,
there is some cameos in this game. Some weird stunt casting choices. I don't know if anybody noticed Shroud congratulating you when you finished the fighting ring in the black market.
I missed that. Streamer? That's crazy.
Streamer Shroud. He says, wow, you kicked those guys' butts, man.
That's wild.
Pretty hype moment.
In some ways, like that makes more sense to me because it's someone I wouldn't have recognized, and so it feels like a more of a niche. Like we're putting him in for a specific reason, whatever Io's reason is. That makes more sense on like a gamer level of we're gonna grab this person and put him in, but. Lenny Kravitz is a weird, like who approached who about that and why?
Yeah.
Is he a big Hitman fan?
I feel like we're getting off on kind of a negative note here. I really enjoyed this section. I'm curious, Leo, why you think would be less contentious. Because for me, I was like, hey man, I training montage aside, which we all agreed was cool. Last section, I was like, hope I get to play the game soon. And in this one, I was like, I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm in here.
And I love the idea of trying to get $100,000. I know Bond gets it easily, but like, I'm a sucker for a fight pit. One of my favorite tropes. I will never turn down a fight pit, ever. Movies, games, books. If there is a fight pit, I am hyped.
Right.
This is what the deepest dive is for, because I heard that guy say, hey, there's money to be made in the fight pit. And I thought, I'll get ready. I didn't even find it. I got my money completely difftly.
Wow.
It's a little hard to find. I think that was the last place I went to. And I ran into a bug in this place. The one thing I also very much like this segment. There were I revealed myself a little bit when I guessed what the most common comment was, because some of the forced action sequences got a little long in the tooth for me, and I struggled with them a bit. But otherwise, I very much enjoyed this chunk of gameplay. But I did one of the things I did, like multiple things in the market. And then there's the one place you have to sneak through to turn on a radio tower or whatever. I did that, and then I was wandering through the market again, and I kind of went into that fenced area. It's like fenced off, and I went back through the fence because I was lost. And he closed the fence behind me, and then I was locked in that area again, and there was no way to get out. Like I went through the entire stealth section again, but if you get back to where the final door that leads to the radio tower would not open, and so I had to like reload the last checkpoint, and the last checkpoint was the beginning of that mission. So I ended up which to be fair, like I got to do different activities. That is how I found the fight pit the second time around, but it was a bummer of a bug to run into.
So if we haven't been clear, this is the kind of the first open gameplay section here is you're sent to the black market to gather $100,000 to get into this auction. And you can do it a whole bunch of different ways, a whole bunch of different side paths off the side of the market and games within the market that are supposed to be rigged, but you can find a way to win. And yeah, it definitely some frustrating checkpointing. As I think there will be a few things throughout, Jacob, where I'll elucidate on why I think it might be more divisive. I'm still super loving it, but it's definitely not as totally clean as it has been when there's less room for experimentation and for things to go wrong. And in this one, it's like doing that crypto thing, the long stealth section that takes a whole bunch of build up where you do 2 eavesdrops, you eavesdrop some pickpocket, a big lead up to these things proportional to how much money you get out of them. If you die in combat, you'll load back 20 seconds earlier. But if you press start and go restart checkpoint, you go back to the second you walked into the black market. And there's a few sections that are frustratingly like that, especially the later missions that are a lot of slow walking. There's some frustrating checkpointing there if you're trying to restart for challenges. So a little more friction in general.
Jewel in Cup. Jolly. Love that. Did you guys play the 3-card Monty vibe game
for the Jewel of Jahari?
No, was there a did you have to like slow down time to see
you can use
where he was moving the
you can use your vision to like see through or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
So fun.
Which Dayton Rose wrote in, the shell game dude gives you a $30,000 gemstone for winning and he doesn't even cheat. You'd think someone would get it even by accident. Yeah, 1 out of 3. I knew like it was going to be a Q lens thing as a fun way to use mechanics for you to figure it out, but I also could just tell where it was just by following the cup. So it would have been cool to see a little sleight of hand there or something.
Yeah, so I did the shooting targets, for which I also received $30,000 for. And then my favorite one in terms of funny like Hitman logic is when you steal the burner phone to do some art deal where you find out that there's like a painting in a storage container somewhere, and you go, a bunch of dudes show up. You shoot all the guys. Then the buyer comes. He says, "Is the painting here?" And Bond says, "Yeah, I think it's back there somewhere." And then the guy hands him $30,000. I don't even need to check. You don't seem confident, but I'm sure it's in there. Here's your payment. Go ahead before I even walk into the container.
That's Bond's charisma, baby.
Funny. Yeah, he's so convincing.
I also want to call out in this section, I think maybe we even brought this specifically up last episode of the Hitman games. They're so cartoony. Will you be able to electrocute a guy and see his skeleton? Guess what? Yes. There are multiple opportunities to electrocute a guy and see his skeleton in this section.
Some fuse box, like, bah!
And that's some of the dynamic stuff is things that have that electrocuting property on them. And it is surprising how many things have that. You can knock somebody, you can vault attack. Shouts out to Stealth Gamer BR, who has an amazing video up now of this section of doing just the most incredible choreographed kills on the hardest difficulty. He does a vault attack to tap somebody as lightly as possible with the kick that comes out of the vault, and the person stumbles backwards and they tap one of the desk fans and he gets electrocuted and turns into the skeleton.
That happens in real life.
Fans. Yeah, I know. It's scary.
Really loved Greenway, Lenny James in this chapter. Like the Bond and Greenway rapport here, trying to like they were coming into their own together, you know, because Greenway was giving Bond such a hard time in the last bunch of chapters, didn't really want him there, didn't really trust that he should be there. And I like that he had to rely on Bond after this. And I just like that it was a little uneasy, but they were still working really well together.
Big section for Greenway for sure. Kyle B writes in, there's one very specific animation with Greenway I've been really enjoying. After he says something witty, he has a derpy smirk. And my favorite instance of it has been at the end of this mission. After the briefcase explodes, Bond yells about the evidence, followed by Greenway saying explosive stuff and then dropping his derpy smile. It's well put.
Explosive stuff.
I really like this kind of middle third of the game that we played. I feel like kind of is a whole Greenway arc of you, and I don't know what happens after. Maybe Annie was like, or my friend was like, I think he's a double agent, and I was like, I don't know. He'd be really in there as a double agent. But like, I like that you start and you're like, what is this guy's effing problem? And then by the end of the section, you've kind of figured out, like, here's what his effing problem is, and it makes sense, and he is like nicer to you. I really like, this is jumping ahead a little bit, but that section where you are fully pinned down and behind the Jeep, and Greenway is giving you like individual clips of ammo.
So cool.
You are having conversations and you can tell he is like, we are fully going to die here. And because he's like that, he kind of starts being nicer and funnier. You know, it's like you get this moment of like, oh, this is Greenway with a sense of humor. And it is because he has accepted his death. And then you're rescued, and that kind of goes back in a little. But I loved that bit of characterization.
So great. Yeah. So subtle. Such a good call.
Yeah, on the like, anything nice you want to say to me now, Greenway, now that we're going to die? Nothing comes to mind.
So good. And he's out of ammo. He's like, that's it. Got nothing left. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it really feels like he is almost relieved, you know, and that kind of like all of these MI6 dudes are like a little bit suicidal. He's like, hey man, this is it.
This is nothing left.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts from that whole stealth part? Once you get the money, you go from the black market through the whole shipyard to, or no, there's the auction is before that. So the auction is right after you get the money.
The auction was so cool. Such a James Bond vibe. Of just like, we're hooking up to a lie detector test at a black market auction. It was
which is set up in the last section in a way I never expected it to pay off this way, where you are doing it in the most high stakes way.
That is nice, and I like the concept of the auction. Is not it? They're like, we don't care about money. It's like, what are you going to give Bavma specifically? Yeah. And we're just going to kind of weigh it, I guess, of like, well, that sounds better to me than the other thing. That would be helpful.
That's
a fun idea for an auction.
Look who's joining us. It's Haley MacLean.
Oh.
Could you please be quiet for just a moment? Jacob was actually saying something.
I'm used to this.
No.
Just kidding.
I think that I would be bad at being Bavma or any pirate captain because I could not accurately assess the value of the offers that were being made. I thought there was that one woman who was speaking Hindi, and I was like, her first offer was like the best one. It's where she was just like, free passage internationally, a jet, and bodyguards for life. And I was like, what's better than that? And then James Bond was like, advanced solar power, and Bavma was like, whoa.
Eco-conscious.
Was that the one you said that got his attention? Advanced solar power? Because there's also the giving Greenway.
The MI6 Intel.
Well, that's the
how different that can go.
That's the last one, but you have a couple because one is one of the options is like 2 coordinated missile strikes on a location of your choice.
That's insane. Which is like, that's the other one.
So insane.
Which unfortunately I do think some countries sell, and we might be living in one of them.
Holy shit!
I didn't know.
Well,
that
it
was
sounds
the other
cool
one.
now that James Bond is doing it.
It's cool that was stuff that you find in the level too. Like that's intel that you picked up, random like intel that you found,
really?
And then that turns into because I found something about solar panels.
Oh wait, yeah, I did too.
I didn't realize
and so
that. That's really cool.
that I assume I assume they all are. Maybe not. Maybe they have to have something in there if you didn't find anything. But the solar panel one for sure.
I always love that if that is the case. I love finding, like in RPGs especially, like finding a thing that gives you like a dialogue choice or a choice in the game just by like finding an extra piece of information. That stuff's so fun.
And it's always like a different color or like a little lock opens or something.
Yes,
and you're like, yeah,
I love that.
Haley, do you think, just to catch up with the rest of us, do you think if you were in like a shipyard pirate cove, you could easily make 100K?
Oh my God. It's like, if I could just go to a shipyard for 15 minutes and not work for a year, I'd do that once a year. I would fly down, do a loop,
go to the fight pits,
go in the fight pit, play a couple little games, get really good at aiming my gun, and then take the year off. That felt insane when the money requirement popped up in the top corner. I was like, what? I have like 15 minutes to earn 100K? That's insane. Greenway got the way easier side of the deal.
Yeah, Greenway's so cavalier about it. He's like, yeah, go figure it out. It's like, yeah, okay.
It kind of reminds me of Devil Wears Prada when she asked her to go get the Harry Potter books. It's like, I don't know, figure it out. And then you're not going to get any credit when you do all these amazing things in a row. They're just going to go, okay, next thing.
Yeah, Greenway's not going to suddenly appreciate me for this, yeah.
No, never.
I love that he had his arm in a sling the whole chapter, too. Just like casually just walking around.
How's he allowed to be on the field when he only can use one arm currently? I feel like they'd be like, no, you're not allowed back out.
Barth got everybody killed, but not really. but kind of.
Yeah, kind of. That's true, I guess.
I do also, just in the shipyard, we talked about it last time, and it's an obvious reference, but the Uncharted feelings here are crazy.
Uncharted
just because
3 for sure.
Uncharted 3 has a whole pirate shipyard section.
Cruising for a bruising.
And then when you're driving that Jeep around, it was like totally kind of Uncharted 4 feeling, especially when later you were driving a Jeep up into the like shell of a boat, and I was like, just walk, guys. Do not drive the car.
You have to like K-turn around one specific turn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like we should get out of the car.
Yeah, and it's not to say it like not a negative comparison at all, because I like those Uncharted levels, but it is like in the shipyard when you're like climbing on the outside of the ships, I was like, this is shockingly similar to that Uncharted sequence.
Right, which speaking of climbing on the outside, really important note here from Poor and Curly. When you stealth through the ships, there's a guard that goes to the edge and pees into the water. You're able to shimmy the ledge below him and just hang there getting peed on before doing a stealth takedown.
I hope that he says something.
You do a stealth takedown, you just grab his willy and pull him into the water.
Does Bond say anything when he's getting peed on?
They would have mentioned it if he did, I have to imagine.
Damn.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And also, if there was a genitals-related takedown, he would definitely have some kind of willy or won't he type of... Yeah.
Grab life by the balls.
Perfect.
And then he pulls him down. Yeah.
That's really good.
That's got to be it.
I
liked how...
Yeah, go for it.
That's okay. I got to catch up. I got to have a few anecdotes. Let me just like regurgitate 5 of them. I like how this game has such an effort behind it of there always has to be 2 ways at least to do something. Like no matter what it is. Like at one point in the ships, you have to open up that door. You have to climb up and release the 2 hatches. And I almost took up way more time because I climbed one of the poles, went over, and then came back down, went up another one of the poles to do the other one. And then I saw there was a little ledge I could go up. I was like, oh, I wonder what the secret is up here, like a card or something. But it was just another way to get to the other latch that wasn't shimmying down the pole. And I could tell that the devs were like, put that in there, that they could feel like they figured it out. I'm like, I just wasted an extra 3 minutes thinking it was something else. But that's like a design ethos in the background of this that I'm finding in every single thing. That if you have to lift up a latch, there's at least 2 ways to get to the latch. Every single time, to the point that it's like a rule, it feels like, in the background.
Yeah, definitely. And it's debatable how meaningful it is for certain things. There's the part in this section where you're stopping the car to go open the gate, and there's like, seems to be one way to climb it, and then you get to the top and you go, oh, there was this other way to climb it.
Leo, I just said that.
Oh, that part. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I was picturing when you were talking.
That's okay, then. That's okay.
But yeah, no, at that part I was like, I like that you can do things multiple ways, but I still would rather this wasn't a part, probably. This little gameplay part.
I don't need the little ledge. I can just shimmy twice. It's okay.
While we're talking about opening things, allow me to complain about video game logic. There's that scene where James Bond has to, there's a big piece of wood over a door handle that you have to turn. And the only way he thinks to approach it is like having the wood on his... He lifts up the wood, keeps it on his back, and then it's like, it's too hard to turn the door handle while I have the wood on me. James, just move it, James. Just scoot the wood over a little, but you have to get Greenway over there so he can lift the wood while you open the door.
There's one arm.
Yep.
Right.
I was bummed this would have been the perfect time, back to the 100,000, it would have been the perfect time for an optional card game. I'm just saying. James Bond, Baccarat, poker, whatever it may be, chess even, play somebody in a chess match. This would have been the time. Because there were so many ways to get 100,000. So if somebody, if a player didn't know how to play, the card game or didn't want to play the card game, they could do the other things. This would have been such a nice spot to sneak that into.
Yeah, there's playable poker in the Hitman Bond mission with Lashif.
There it is.
So I was wondering
maybe more of a Bond game.
Yeah.
In the 009 boat that you eventually get to, there's a chessboard in mid-play, and I looked at it and I thought, if I was smarter, I bet this is somehow representative of what's happening, because like chessboards are always, it's like, by this position you can tell
the sacrificial pawn or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So right.
They're doing a Harmony's Gambit, some kind of setup like that.
Always Gambit. The word Gambit was in my brain too.
Queen's Gambit. Netflix.
Yeah.
Defined it for us. Shout out Netflix. Yeah, stealthing onto 009's boat. That was a kind of interesting section. All the hidden lasers, the lasers that were not hidden and the lasers that were hidden.
Oh my God. I forgot. That scared the out of me.
Yeah.
Because two of those times, I botched it 2 times and got trip mined. And I was like playing with headphones and it was like a little late. And just 2 full times, I fully jump scared so hard, like more than I've jump scared in a horror game, because it's just like, boom, out of nowhere. Scared the crap out of me. That was really fun. Just like, finding the different paths to like take them out. That was so cool. I love that.
Yeah, different ways to show them, turning on the sprinklers and dropping the hanging plants, and using the smoke grenade gadget also illuminates the lasers.
Oh, I didn't try that.
Yeah.
The section, I think it's right before you get to the boat. After the auction, you get, I think Ollie is the lieutenant that you get. He's gonna betray Bavma. Then they're like, all right, well, you can go to 009's boat now. And Greenway was just going to take an actual boat. And then they're like, no, James, you go sneak through the longest stealth section with the most guys. Like I ultimately really liked that section, but it was overwhelming how many guys there were everywhere. It was like, Jack Bennett, like I was going one way and then coming back the other way and just could not find a way through that for the longest time. They were really pushing my abilities. Yeah,
at some point, Jeff, I was like taking people down and I was like, are they respawning? Like, are there more coming in?
Leo, I assume you've done all of the challenges for these sections. Is there a, get through without being seen, get through killing all the guys sort of stuff? And if so, how hard is it?
Yes, I've maintained my 100%. We'll see if I can bring it home next week.
My goodness.
Sick.
But it's been really fun. It taught me a ton about the levels that I already appreciated. It makes me appreciate them more for sure. The one for this, that is the ghost challenge, is getting through without taking anybody out. Sometimes it's without getting spotted. For this one, it's okay if you get spotted, this giant, massive section we're talking about. And I found you know, sometimes the challenges pop after you get to the next section of gameplay or in the cutscene. This one, luckily, as I sprinted, got spotted, was just running for my life. I'll probably have to respawn, but I'm trying to just learn the route now a little bit. I make it to the end, and once you get into that last little hallway, it pops the challenge then, so you don't have to go through the door, which is good because...
even if you haven't opened the door.
Yes, because it doesn't let you open the door if hostiles are onto you. And that was a fun moment because I got there and I was hoping beyond hope I would get it, and then I did, and then I go, well, now there's nothing stopping me from turning around and grabbing that sniper rifle that's on the table right up here, which I spotted my first playthrough after diligently stealthing and knocking out every single person. You get to the end and there's a free sniper rifle right there as like a little reward for sneaking past. So I didn't get to do anything the first time, and I made a mental note for next time.
What was the hardest mission in this section, Leo?
Oh yeah,
that you had to do.
Hardest. It took me a long time to figure out all the ways through the party in Uninvited. There's a few sneaky ones there. And yeah, at the end of that section, after the workshop, what's the other part? We'll get to it. But the
Knightfall? I mean, the part where you're in the kind of AI laboratory.
Yeah, that has to be it as the server lab, because there's a challenge for taking out a certain amount of people, 8 people, without getting spotted and making it through. So I had to really get a nice tight route for that. That ended up being really fun.
Cool.
But we'll get to that in a few.
Yeah.
Is it strange that these sniper rifles, as far as I can tell, don't have a scope? Or like you don't have a way of zooming in? Or am I like missing that button?
I don't think you do, no.
No, isn't that weird? Sniper challenge. Come on. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just like them being like, we don't want you to hang back and shoot guys.
Sure.
So we'll give you a sniper rifle, but we don't want you to just sit 100 meters away and shoot everyone.
Yeah, the maps are small enough that I don't really miss it. But maybe we'll get that in the post-launch content, which has been outlined since last episode, including a big DLC coming for Bavma. So we'll get him fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah,
Love that guy.
Our favorite guy.
That is cool. We're gonna. It's gonna be the redemption arc.
You're gonna understand why he talks like that.
Yeah, it's really nice to them.
Yeah.
Something that I was impressed by in this, I don't know if impressed is the right word. They have name dropped Aston Martin, Jaguar, and Land Rover thus far. Are those secretly all like the same company, or do they have like 3 different car product placements? I mean, I know that's sponsored. I'm just impressed that they have 3 different ones.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Usually they would say exclusive, like only Jeep gets in the James Bond games or something. They're being very willy-nilly about it.
But maybe because I know, like,
for sure, Aston Martin and BMW have been Bond cars. I know those 2 for sure.
Well, I feel like everyone kind of made fun of them when they had BMW Bond cars, totally. Right? Because they're like, "What are you doing, Aston Martin? That's the cool one."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when he started drinking Heinekens, he started really preferring Heinekens. Reed writes in with a nice fun fact from this section on this topic. Jaguar is perhaps the butt of a subtle joke from IOI. In Bavma's collection, we walked past and talked about the Type 00. Probably a better way to pronounce that. That is being said out loud by listeners. That car's design received controversial reactions for ignoring Jaguar's heritage. Their chief creative officer was reportedly escorted out of the building with his employment status being vague. Doubly thematically appropriate for the 00 program being discarded by MI6 due to political pressure. My headcanon is that the Brits traded the Type 00 to Bavma for some intel. For comparison, the green 23-year-old Jaguar XJ we drove to the hotel looked timelessly elegant.
Wow.
This is a car guy.
Something for the car guys out there.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. This section builds to a pretty classic... I like
the garbage truck.
I gotta get me... Which I wonder if that was sponsored too.
Timeless garbage truck. Elegant.
Gotta get me one of those. This culminates in a very classic Bond, I'm gonna kill you in slow motion now type scene, where you're dangling over the crocodiles, which had been alluded to as the girls earlier, which was a good surprise. I
loved that. I love that there are little girlies in there.
Before or after we got the reveal about 009.
I think
This is
after.
Yeah.
So we should talk more about what that
mean,
means.
That was certainly a big... So you get on 009's boat. I'm like, my expectation was he's not even going to be here. Obviously, he's the villain of the whole game.
Yeah,
so we're going to get on his boat and we'll find that he was, a cigarette in the ashtray. Instead, you find 009 there, fully dead. And you find out that he was the target. That other people showed up and killed him before you even got there, and I was head spinning. What does this mean?
That was a big twist. Love that twist, Jacob. Definitely. That was like, that raised the stakes. I was like, wait a minute. I love when you think you're so locked in on a story, you think it's going one way, and then you get rug pulled. You're like, wait, what? Like, everything I've played before this moment now is framed differently because of that reveal.
Ask me is stupid for not knowing this now. That's how I always feel when that kind of stuff happens.
You should have known.
Because what you find out is he was specifically, because I was wondering, I mean, I said this in the last one, I was like, why did all that stuff go down at the chess match? Like, what was the plan? What was attempting to happen? And you find out it's like, those dudes were there to kill 009. Like, he was the target of the twins and the terrorism attack and all that. And so I was like, oh, now this makes sense.
Right. And it's a classic Bond sensing there's a little more going on than meets the eye, but Greenway not wanting to give it the time of day. Yeah,
Classic
fun
Greenway.
dynamics there. Classic Greenway.
I love
Yeah,
the
I'm
interior
thinking
of the
doing the
boat.
challenges so much, I'm like, I've lost what order things in the plot happen in because I've been jumping around within it so much.
That makes
That's
sense.
so valid. That's so true.
So please stop me if I skip
can't-
anything.
This section, I can't stop thinking about how good they are at interiors of places. Like, God, they're good at that. Every building looks so cool, and it's the kind of building that you could only make in a video game and never actually build, but it still looks a little bit like it could be built. You know what I mean? Like, that boat's so decrepit on the outside, and the inside's just mahogany everything. To jump ahead a little bit, the web building later on, when I'm inside there, I was just stopping, looking around, and be like, wow, imagine having an office in here. It'd be so cool. Like they're so good at that. It's so perfect for Bond too, because Bond's so known for the like spaces he's in being so exciting to look at.
That feels like something IO cracked mid Hitman 1. The idea that every map should be two things put together, and that automatically makes it so interesting. Like the way that this is a city placed on top of a shipyard and stuff, and so many Hitman levels are like hidden drug lab underneath a regular small town, whatever.
I did have my friend who was playing this has been sending me pictures, and now he's put it in my head and I can't unsee it, and so I'm giving this to all of you. The interiors look amazing. Everything is so big. Like any given item. He sent me a picture where he's standing next to the refrigerator in James Bond's apartment, and the refrigerator is like 10 feet tall. And like, you know, the all of the cans of food, it's like they look great. They look like cans of food, but then if you go next to them, they are like the size of Bond's torso. And it is like a funny thing where I bet a lot of video games do this, but it's like, so you can see the detail. So, you know, so it kind of comes through. Everything is just like 150% of its actual size.
That's awesome. Or he's just a short king.
Just giant olives.
He's having to jump to get the stuff on the top of the fridge.
Yeah, on that topic, I think also it's like for interiors, for whatever game design purpose you want to have a little easier time moving around than you literally would if it was literally perfect 1-to-1, a little extra space. And I've seen people complain about the combat camera getting wonky, losing track of what they're doing and stuff. And the only time I noticed that was in the fighting ring because it was so small and I would get pushed up against the corner. Have y'all been having a good time with the combat still? And the camera hasn't been giving you trouble?
No. Not that I remember.
No, it's been fine.
The only thing that bugs me is when I try to throw things, he tries to grab too much. That's bugged me. Like there'll be a can right beside me and I'm spamming R2 to throw it at a guy's head. And he's like, what if I grabbed you instead? Even though he looks like he's too far away for that to happen. And then the other thing is if I try to sidestep with like X to move away from a red grab, which are the scariest things in this game. I don't think I've dodged a red grab yet. I always go down to those. I'm just dead whenever that happens. I go, whoops.
Those are so intense. I'm so
have
glad you said that.
You have to be very exact. Yeah, because it's like if you step backwards,
I know.
You know, he gets you. And so it has to be like the perfect sidestep, which is often hard if you're at like a weird angle to like step sideways.
And then I'm trying to punch. I'm also trying to dodge or counter. And then I'm also just like frantically hitting dodge. Yeah, those are so intense.
I kind of at this point just accept I'm going to take some damage when I see it red. I just go, okay, will I live this? I hope so. And then just go from there.
And it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean, last time I was really talking about how the Bond suddenly jumping to like killing 40 guys took me out of it. Now that I have learned that is what happens in this game, I'm really digging the firefights. I think it's so cool how much they are like pick up your gun, shoot its entire clip, don't reload it, throw it at another guy, pick up a different gun. You know, it's a very kinetic movement style that they're incentivizing in the gunfights, and I just think that like that's so much more fun than kind of crouching behind cover and taking pot shots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keeps moving forward. Like kind of reminds me of like how Uncharted 4 specifically plays. I know we don't have a grappling hook here, but that game also encourages you to just like keep moving from cover to cover. They're going to throw explosives at you to get you out of there. They're going to flank around you. You keep having to like switch cover. I love all the breakable covers too. When you do decide to kind of like hunker down maybe somewhere and they're just like, nope, cover's gone. You got to move. So yeah, it just keeps moving. I love that.
Ross.
And it always feels like it's at a really good time too, after a big story, slow burn part or a stealth takedown part. It's like, all right, time to kick it up for a quick shootout.
Yeah, I haven't been like, oh, it's been way too long since the last one or anything. It's paced really well where I'm excited when it comes along, but I'm not wishing I was doing that instead of the social stealth stuff. Ross wrote in, the combat has grown on me over the course of the game. I felt it was a little too simple at first, and while I do still think it needs a handful more animations, I found it incredibly satisfying once you get into the flow of it. Switching between enemies, throwing them into each other or the environment, stealing the weapon and then use on a nearby explosive is some top tier Bond stuff. Yeah, it almost errs on the side of being too generous with how invincible you are doing the takedown animations and the disarm animations and even grapples and stuff. But it is the right move because it keeps you, it incentivizes you to do that stuff in a way it just couldn't if you were out there getting shot at while you were mixing it up in a different way. It ends up being really cinematic how you string these things together.
They're very generous with the invincibility when you're locked in a takedown animation, because there's been times where as soon as I see that square and X pop up, I'm like, because I know I'll be safe like if that's happening. And there's been times where like someone has the taser on me and it's turning blue, but then I'll start a grapple and they're like, I'll give her a minute. And they just like keep staring at me and stand
I'll let her kick my colleague in the neck before I try to hit her.
Yeah, I'll like see them on the outside of the animation, just like pacing and waiting for the animation to be done, and then they charge it up again to shoot me. So sometimes it's a little unimmersive, but I would rather it be that way instead of I get tasered in the middle of an animation and die. That would suck.
Yeah, and they don't want to shoot their friend when you're like mixed up with them. It's not like completely immersion breaking or anything.
Yeah, that's better.
But they can shoot at them. If you like throw somebody towards their friend and they're shooting at you, they can shoot their friend to death really quickly. And it is a really fun way to get a kill.
Oh, so that's fun for you?
That's fun, you sociopath?
It's more fun than me doing the killing. What's wrong with all you?
Yeah.
It's not licensed to kill if they kill the people.
I'm just watching someone else kill.
You're working for hire to kill. Yeah. Perfect.
Also, back to the shipyard. Another thing before they're, well, I can't remember. Yeah, they're dangling over an alligator pit. He wakes up Greenway. There is the part where you are driving the Jeep to escape, and Greenway is telling Bond to shift gears for him. And I was
fun.
like, that is so like a thing that you could have skipped, and I would have been like, nothing is missing from this scene. But the addition of it, I'm just like, that's so clever that they thought this much about the scene, that they were like, Greenway's arm is in a sling, he cannot use the gear shift, Bond is going to do it from the passenger seat while he's driving. It's like a movie-esque touch in a nice way, where I just feel like those sort of games are so complicated to make that those sort of little realizations of a fun thing you can do within the scene sometimes get skipped. And I love that it's in here.
Great
like
detail.
I feel like we talked about that in the first episode too, just how this game adds little moments of texture to just kind of fill in the margins with those little story beats like that, Jacob. That's such a good one.
I always like the insinuation there too is that even if we feel like they have a lot of friction in what they're verbally saying, they're weirdly on the same wavelength, like mission wise, like they work very well together, even though they're so chippy that I don't think I could shift gears for my bestest friend of 10 years. Like, you know, I would just be like, what? So how are they able to do it? They're weirdly compatible, but they both don't want to say it, which is kind of fun.
Drake wrote in, what the heck happened to the QTEs? There were like none in this whole chunk of game. Do you think at one point they planned to have the gear shifting be a QTE?
Oh, that would have been cool.
That'd be kind of cool. And you'd have to do the motion with the stick to be like, because I know gear 2, gear 3.
Yeah, the only one was the spam X to something when you're trying to escape from the party at the end. That was the only thing, I think. Because I remember them because I hate doing them.
There weren't very many. They were just so prominent in that first section that it is surprising their absence.
It's because he's becoming more of an agent and things just come natural and you don't have to QT. Is that our headcanon to give IO even more props?
But last chapter, the game's just going to play itself and it's just going to be one long cutscene.
It just becomes a DVD.
You know, I want to take a moment here from my notes. Squeeze throughs are such a running joke in gaming. And this game opens with doing squeeze throughs right away. And it's, I don't know exactly why we make fun of it. I guess it's like it's hiding loading lots of times. And it's like a little silly and on rails. And it's kind of a AAA game showing off the wriggling against the wall animation. Is that what the deal is?
The first time I ever experienced that was God of War 3. And it was awesome because that game, the camera is panned so far back for most of it. So when you do it in God of War 3, it gets really close to Kratos and you can see so much detail on him and you're still in game. It's not a cutscene. So I remember that. And then there was the discourse about like, it's always hiding a load. I don't know why I think that bothered
Uncharted 3, it was the PS3 era where they started because Uncharted 3 also had those and I was like, that's cool, but you know, whatever. I think that Bond is using them fairly effectively in that most times they are just setting off an arena where, you know, it's like in the pirate place. When you do a pass through, often it is going from this is a public space where combat is not possible to this is now a trespassing space where you can punch guys. And so I'm fine with them there because it's basically just doing a little like, hey, you're in a different style of gameplay now and we're setting it off because you know you're not going to be punching guys in the big market square. You know, I still kind of roll my eyes, but I think it's fine.
There also are a lot throughout the arenas themselves, little squeeze throughs. And I found myself going like, oh, these are actually completely additive. And because of their dynamicness, they're cool. And they never take more than a second, but it is like I'm making a decision to get over to this side. People can spot you through them. I've been spotted doing a takedown because the line of sight through the squeeze through a guy saw me. And there's certain ones that have like on the shipyard area, pipes going from one piece of the wall to the other piece of the wall. And if you can destroy the pipes with a laser or with a gunshot, then that opens up the squeeze through to be possible. So it ends up being just another little, like the doors that you can kick to distract or open the bunch of different ways. It's like a little kind of action toy that they place there to be dealt with a bunch of different ways.
Is it also so that like to put distance between you and the bad guys, because the bad guys can't go through the squeeze throughs, right?
They're too chubby. Yeah.
Canonically, yeah.
Canonically chubby. I don't think I've seen one go through.
I don't think I have either.
So it might also be helpful of like you're trying to get away from them, and you can put a little distance and maybe, you know, turn a corner or whatever, and kind of turn off in like the action sequences where it's all action. You can't go back to stealth, but otherwise sometimes you can sneak away and get back into stealth in normal sections.
Right. Here's a question. Why would I ever not bring the watch laser on a mission?
Yeah, I'm bringing it.
When I saw that, I was almost like, I mean, I guess it is to incentivize replayability that you can only bring 2 gadgets, but I have found it kind of a bummer because I think the laser and the poison dart are so good.
They're so good
that I have never really wanted to, you know, the camera blast thing. I'm like, I'm going to do something that will help me not get in fights rather than, you know, just something that will help me stagger guys once I'm already in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt the same way. At least totally also to the incentivizing of the challenges. I know there's like challenges to use all of the gadgets a bunch of times. So they encourage you that way, which is nice. But yeah, dart and laser the whole way.
And smoke grenade can be used for a lot of cases you would use the dart during. If you're trying to get somebody out of the way, you can just block their line of sight anyway, or hit them with the smoke, and you can pickpocket off that too. So there's lots of uses for that, but the camera has, you know, I saw somebody, I'd never thought of it, used it to open a door from range. The shockwave camera blasted a door open from like 10 feet away. So then people came and investigated that, and they could go through it later. And of course, on the max settings, when I tried to use it, not knowing how it works, and I blasted the trolley, and it went shooting straight at that group of guys.
Oh, love that.
That was pretty iconic. Cool. But yeah, a lot of them, I think you're going to get more play in TAC-SIM than in story, which story you can't even like choose them when you're replaying missions. At the start of the next one, you get to pick it out of Greenway's car, but that feels kind of half-baked. And I think when they add New Game Plus, which is later in the roadmap, we'll get some more changing on the fly, and probably you'll have all your gadget slots throughout the whole replay, but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I do switch it up when I'm doing like the challenges for the more run and gun kind of thing, like Monroe's version of every level, you know, how they do that. Like, okay, I want to get through, and the Flash is fun because you can essentially run up to like 6 dudes and just be like, bang, and then they're all like, oh, and just get at least 3 of them before they come back. So I think some of them are meant for stealth gameplay, some of them are meant for, you know, going quiet, going loud, or whatever, the classics, but it's nice that at least most of them can be used either or.
Yeah. The crocodile scene, of course, you're dangling with Greenway, you're trying to wake him up by swinging into him. There's a little bit of gameplay there. Left on sick to swing back and forth.
Classic Bond moment too. I mean, you're dangling over crocodiles. That is nice touch. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Someone dies to them right before us, so we know it's for real. It's not just fake crocodiles.
We know they're hungry.
A second ago.
Or maybe they're full now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Will that ever be old? Oh, there's a hungry animal down here. Lower you down. Like, that will never be boring.
I like how it
is
definitely one of the more campy Bond traditions, and it's very fun that they went for it and we're too grown up to do one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got on with the classics.
I think it's like Thunderball maybe with the sharks. They like keep pushing people into like shark pools and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so many because obviously, there's the stunt where the guy runs across the crocodiles. Even in Skyfall, which is like, one of the new serious ones, there's like a Komodo dragon pit that guys are falling into.
So good.
In the middle of a casino, like not safe.
We love that. And you wake Greenway up. He gets you out at the last second by giving Bavma the location of his sister that was seated earlier, his missing sister.
He says his perfect trigger word to get out of crocodile free card. It kind of felt like.
Yes, for sure. It cuts immediately to Bobma escorting you out and saying it was nice working with you. It was a very pretty jarring. For you
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and ask why he waited so long to do it. Greenway. Nick W writes in with the line from Greenway: "We do not give up valuable information if we can get what we want for free."
Great.
That's Spycraft, baby.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Really good line.
On the Harmony note, I'm surprised we haven't unlocked more for TaxSim. I thought we'd be unlocking as we went, and I kind of suspect that was planned, but kind of got cut because I still keep going into TaxSim throughout the mission and checking in, and there are no new missions, but there is new dialogue related to the story still from the other members that are there, the other members of MI6, and they talk about that deal giving Bobma the location of his sister. And in their small talk, they're not even talking to you. They're talking to each other about it. And one explains to the other that Harmony died in a fire years ago, but Greenway left that out of the report because there's, no reason to put that in there. So who knows what mood Bobma would have been in.
Wow.
But probably teasing the DLC with that. Gotta.
Totally.
He's gotta be mad about that.
He's gonna be pissed.
Totally.
Yeah. Then to chapter next one, Uninvited.
Chapter next one.
Well, it starts with Bond driving home, playable driving in London in a really on rails way, but I still thought it was cute and good.
It was so cozy. I wanted to go into the bar with Greenway and have a drink with him so bad, though. Damn it.
That pup was good.
Yeah. I did love that it was just like, here's a commute. Man, here, go ahead. I mean, probably like the best London traffic you're ever gonna get, but it was kind of like the sort of like back to ordinary life, and then you get to the apartment and it's very sad and it's not ordinary.
But we are jumping ahead because the crocodile pit isn't the end of that section. Then you go through. Isn't that when you go through all of the 009 stuff?
That's right before.
But you do leave, right? And then a bunch of those guys show up and shoot at you, and I can't remember why.
I remember, but just Bobma being so nice to you, I'm placing that as the end because it's all resolved, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, Bobma comes and shoots everybody in the head for you while you're hiding behind the Jeep, and he goes, "You're gonna give me one little compliment," and Greenway's like, "No," and they have a little cheeky moment.
Yeah, right. I think you end up going to 009's stash, which is a different secret place, and then all of the actual bad guys come there, and then Bobma's the one who saves you from that, and you almost die with Greenway. It was an incredibly long segment of to me, all of that just felt like one big long mission, and it was massive, and it had a lot of twists going on there, and a lot of story revelations all wrapped up into one huge chunk.
It's nice looking back on that section too, to jump ahead a little bit with the 009 stuff, that he was actually good. So when you kind of feel like, why would he help us over here if he just tried to booby trap the crap out of us on that ship? It's like, oh, now it makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
So cool.
Right.
Then we go to a party.
Then we go home.
Or no, we don't. Yeah, we go home.
And we mourn.
Where you're the only one in the apartment.
It's like we were all blackout drunk during these levels. Yeah.
This is the Jason Bourne moment when you get jumped in your apartment.
Yes,
reading your own suicide note.
Yes.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And Bond is like, that doesn't sound good. After he reads it.
Bond is like, I think I know what is about to happen.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, Baba Banana wrote in loving that too. Good classic Bond moment. Lots of Easter eggs in the apartment. Lots of interesting stuff here. Jumpo wrote in the apartment there are some playing cards out on the table, and 5 of the cards are arranged in a way that makes up a royal flush of hearts, which is the hand Bond uses to beat Lashif in Casino Royale. Jesus wrote in, there's a magazine by the TV with Joseph Clarence, the Swing King, who is the tutorial target you assassinate in Hitman Blood Money. I've been expecting references to that trilogy, or maybe even Kenny Lynch, but IO referencing even older stuff is awesome.
My favorite Hitman game they referenced and I missed it. Blood Money had a reference. Who wrote that in?
Ooh, I got away from it. I think it was, of course, Jesus.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out. Thank you for bringing that up. Cool.
I really liked being in their apartment because I was like, guys, finish a game where they had an unfinished game of poker, an unfinished game of hangman, and an unfinished game of chess. And I was like, come on.
Andrew Cooper wrote in, there's a bunch of post-it notes on the bulletin board with phone numbers and an angry note from Cressida telling James to please call these women.
I missed that.
Thanks, Andrew, for writing in.
I really like how, I mean, the melee combat in general is good at this, but in your apartment, it seems dialed up where it's like, you're just breaking stuff. You know, the amount like, that you're smashing their head, running into and just kind of like, tearing this kitchen to shreds.
Something about being your house felt very personal when I was smashing my own stuff with their head. Yeah.
Right. I was doing that mission again because there's challenges for not taking any hits when you're fighting those assassins. And in the kitchen, there's no less than 12 items you can throw at him, which is a really great way to not get hit.
In the kitchen, I also smashed him against the painting Cressida chose. And I was like, oh, what the heck? That's her painting she chose. And I got like mad about it. It was fun.
Wow. You should be able to put that over his head.
Yeah, right. One of the two ends up. Yeah, that'd be great.
This isn't even abstract.
Like, that's so smart. That's such a good little detail. They make a big deal about this painting, and then you have a fight there, and you can have that moment that feels so special. That's so cool.
Yeah, because I didn't aim towards the painting. I was just kind of chucking him, but then he hit the wall. The painting kind of went crooked, and I was like, Cressida's painting! And I got way more invested in it.
Wow. If it was Monroe's painting, though, you'd be even more invested because it's his memory.
Yeah. It's the last thing you have.
Wow. So you probably went, thank God that was only Cressida's painting.
And then he peed in all the trainers. The bad guy peed in Monroe's trainers by the door, and I got really pissed. Yeah.
Right.
What is that reference?
Nothing. I'm just being stupid.
Okay.
Not everything has to be a reference. I can simply be stupid, Jacob.
As simple as that.
I liked the sniper section. After this, it felt, I mean, any James Bond thing where you climb a crane, I'm like thinking about Casino Royale. And it was ridiculous how big it seemed. Like it was like, this is a smaller scene, and yet it still got so big by the end where they're somehow knocking down the crane with the sniper fire. I don't know if he has, like a 50 cal anti-material rifle that he's like shooting the supports out with, but like I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
The gun from Eraser.
This was another very Uncharted section.
Speaking of a reference like that, Huber, Brandon M. wrote in, on the last part of the Deepest Dive, Huber compared the car chase scene to Ronin, the action thriller starring Robert De Niro and Jean Reno. That is one of the best on-screen car chases of all time, and nobody seemed to know what he was talking about, so I just want to say that I see you, big dog.
Sick.
I want to make sure I read that for you.
Love a car chase.
Mm-hmm. You chase a little bit. The one of the Murtos thinks he kills you. You fall down to the street and you talk to Moneypenny on the phone where she's on her date tonight because it's everyone's night off. They're talking a little bit about like the value of a night off that I thought was interesting. They're like, you can't get caught up and give your whole life to it.
Humanizing these characters. It's so good. Yeah.
It is a little weird because after the last mission ends and it's like Bond is like, 009 wasn't the guy, like he was getting set up by someone. And then there is an interesting scene with M where she's like, you have no evidence, we need to shut this case, it was 009, go home. And then everybody else just accepts that and they're like, yeah, just go home, dude, just go home. And there was a point where I was like, were they setting me up? Like, why is everybody insisting I go home to where all these assassins are waiting for me? But that was not it.
But you do get, remind me, because there's something where later you talk to Greenway and he was not throwing in the towel as much as he appeared to be, right?
Yeah. He was telling you to go home but he wasn't taking his own advice. He was off doing his own rogue shenanigans.
Right.
I think he started at the pub and intended to relax, but then he said that like they weren't watching the game. And but they were wearing jerseys.
Oh,
he
that's
was like,
right.
When he got attacked.
He was like, "What are these two doing?" Yeah. So then he tried to leave, and then they attacked him.
So look, soccer hooligans attacking a random man. It's happened before. They could just be angry drunk guys.
That has nothing to do with spies. That just happened normally. Yeah.
That guy's arm is broken. Let's beat him up. Yeah.
Oh no.
And then I think you're not like next door to this party, really. There's just a skip, right? There's a time skip to when you arrive at the gala, the web gala that's going on tonight.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but
That
cool
would be
transition.
pretty convenient if you fall off the crane into the front of the party and walk in. Yeah, there must have been a
straighten your little jacket.
Yeah.
How did you guys get the invitation? Because I just poisoned someone with my phone and grabbed it from their pocket, and I did that, and I was like, I feel like that was the most boring way I could have done this. But I really, I tried, and I couldn't find the more interesting ways.
I think you can like hack a laptop. Was there like a hack somebody's phone or something? It like beeps or something. Maybe I did use the dart actually.
Yeah, I think there's other distractions, but nothing that.
Yeah.
I really spent a long time looking at every corner of this because one of the challenges is get into the party without stealing an invitation. And the only way that I could figure out how to do it was charging up all my gadgets by just hitting the soap dispenser over and over again, walking around, getting the phone, and they're like recharging. So I'm just cycling for a couple minutes. And then there's 3 guards at the entrance to the gala, and I just like sick darted one and blinded the other and walked past.
Oh, okay. I really like when you walk up to the front desk and the woman goes, "There's a party happening here," implying that like your outfit is inappropriate. And he's like, "Yeah, I know." She's like, "Oh, all right then." It's just like that's the whole interaction. I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say a complaint related to finding a random phone to hack. There were a couple sections here, more so in the eventually when you get into the Knightfall mission, where I was doing a lot of just holding the Q watch button and looking around for the thing I was supposed to click on. And I was like, this is not, I really like when there are a dozen items in the environment, then you can Q watch any of them and you can really think like which, of these do I want the guy to go to? But sometimes the puzzles are just like, you didn't look above this door, and that's where the computer is that you have to open the door with. Probably not as objectionable if you're doing replays of this, but like I didn't enjoy slowly walking around sections looking for the highlighted object with detective vision.
Yeah, Knightfall, the next chapter, is the biggest offender for that for sure. That had the biggest feeling of some stuff got cut here. But uninvited, I think there are a lot of infiltration points into the party, and it's so fun trying to find them all for the various challenges and figuring out like which one is by far the fastest, and taking those kind of mental notes for if I were to play it again, if I were to speedrun or whatever in New Game Plus. And the fastest, there's get the guard rota to pretend to be one of the guards. Get disguised as one of the photographers, steal a camera to do that.
That was cool. I liked that angle. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like you can hack the photographer's camera so it doesn't work anymore. And she gets pissed off and sets it down. And that's like an easier one to steal than another camera option. But the fastest for sure was in the press zone. You can distract one guard and slip back to the left and go behind this bit of furniture there. And you can get upstairs in a second. And there's this whole other stealth section to go through that you can sneak past or fight everybody in that you otherwise don't see unless you take that one back exit from the press room.
It's very funny because I found that back exit. I went in the other way. I had stealthed everyone. I went back. I got to the press room. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got the camera now. And then I realized like, oh, I was already the place where I was supposed to be. Like I don't need the camera anymore since I had already been up there.
Right.
I felt so silly, like stealing the camera from the like wherever it was. There's like the coat check room or whatever, and I'm just like creeping through. I'm like, I look so stupid right now. Like if anyone walked by, I think people were like walking by the the like other end of it, and it's like if anyone just looks over to the right, I'm just like creeping around.
And the fact, unlike Hitman, it like pulls you into that face-to-face interaction where you can bluff or whatever. It's like almost more humiliating when you get spotted. It's like you're truly
you got me.
Okay, I'll leave.
Yeah. Steve Bellegarde writes, is there anything more Hitman than walking into a lobby of a huge gala and figuring out how you're going to get into the secret rooms? The big light piece overhead with the Web 125 on it was such a IOI touch.
Yeah, it was beautiful. One of my favorite looking environments so far, for sure. The whole game.
Yeah, like the singer, the music performances.
Oh, I love the.
Yeah, I just stood there and watched her for a while.
Yeah.
Did you get the secret conversation when you like towards the very front row of the crowd?
Yeah, the guy asked you about like your dad or something, right? Or
yeah,
there was like a family moment there.
Yeah, the guy says that if you ask if you know the song that they're singing, and Bond says it was a favorite of his dad's and he liked it on vinyl. And the guy says, sounds like a wise man.
Aw. Do we feel he was telling the truth? Or was he just vamping?
He felt genuine.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like the thing with James Bond is he really almost never lies. It's the thing about him introducing himself as James Bond where you're like, just choose another name, and he's like, nope, I'm gonna say my name.
Yeah.
Any good flirting at the gala? I found 2 women you can flirt with.
Damn.
For no reason.
Yeah, that girl that's like with a guy, right?
Yeah, and it's if Foul Hell writes in,
she turns out to be the person, right?
Or no, she's kind of an Easter egg. She's at the coffee area, the cafe, or maybe it's a bar, whatever. Foul Hell writes in, I caught a replay that you can flirt with Roger Finch's wife in that cafe, which Roger Finch we meet in Knightfall, and he's one of the most cucked characters in gaming history. We'll get to that for sure. So it's crazy to get a replay that is even more than you thought. Yeah.
You've cucked him before you even knew who he was.
Right.
How do you flirt with her? What did they say? What did she say?
She very quickly says, do you want to go to a bar down the street? She says, I'm married. Do you want to go to a bar down the street?
Yeah. Straight up.
Do you guys love how every single character is like, okay, Mr. Handsome, prettiest boy on the planet? Like every man that talks to him is like, hold it right there, pretty man. Hold it right there, gorgeous fella. Like everyone's so obsessed with telling him how good looking he is. What is that?
Jimmy O'Reed wrote in, what are your thoughts on how Bond as a character differs in First Light compared to the films? As someone who struggled with Bond's misogyny at times, even in recent films, I've really appreciated Bond not displaying any in my playthrough so far, and in fact, women pursuing him more than the other way around. Is that challenging misogyny?
Totally.
I think it's a fun turn just because it is like, the Sean Connery, there are some scenes that are like borderline unwatchable in how horrible he is. And then even Craig, who I think is kind of playing with the idea of Bond as the misogynist, is still speaking very inappropriately to women at inappropriate times. And like, I think that like, some of that is intentional and some of it is not. Yeah. But I do think if IOI is not interested in doing a whole thing about the patriarchy, the best option is, be like, hey, Bond doesn't really care, but everyone is throwing themselves at him.
But it'll
Craig's motivation for being so cruel and treating women disposably after the events of Casino Royale, like make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually really like that. But I think this is like the sweetest Bond we've ever seen. He's just like kind of a sweetheart.
He's a female gaze Bond, which I don't think we've ever gotten. Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Interesting.
But it won't even be the women. It's like the guys who stop you from entering areas will be like, hold it right there, sweet cheeks. You're beautiful. You can't come in here. Like every time. And I'm like, what's going on? He's turning everyone by.
It's nice to have like immersive stuff like that for me, where I feel like there's just between me and the character, there's like no difference. It's like it may as well just be me there. Always fun.
That's why you hate female protagonists, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When everybody says she about me, I say that's wrong. What else?
Nice long pause after that.
Well, then you meet those like other like cops.
Yeah.
At one point, and they're giving you shit. The classic, like, what are you doing here? Like, get out of here. You tell them there's like a real threat and they don't believe you.
It made me realize they should probably have cards or something to be like, let me in here. Jesus, this is important.
Yeah.
Why don't they?
Such a good point. Some kind of identification.
It should have a chip in it that if it tells that the person dies, it explodes so that they can't figure out they were a spy after they died or something.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
I couldn't wait to just beat those guys up, though. Because they like go in where you need to go in, like the CCTV type.
They make sure to you.
Area. Yeah.
One of them was kind of nice, though. He was like, do you think we should just like humor that guy just in case? Because if we're wrong, we're screwed. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like,
I actually stealthed through that like whole part. And then when I saw them, I just charged at them.
Oh, that's funny.
Couldn't control yourself. One of the most interesting challenges in here is do this section without getting spotted, but take out only Simon and his friend.
Cool.
Oh.
Which, because everybody is so physical, which I still find so interesting that they're not like teleporting somewhere. Maybe there's a little teleporting right at the start, but you can like see them through the wall and follow them quickly and like follow exactly where they get to and find them that way. I was like stalking them through the vents above the cubicle area and then getting in there. It's those two plus one other. So I had to figure out a distraction for the third guy, who I gave him a sick dart and he went over in the corner and vomited. And then I took out Simon and his friend in a quiet enough way that it didn't cause a problem.
Very cool. Very cool.
I got so confused during that entire section. I had one point where it seemed like one of the guys went into a little like walled glass cubicle and I triggered and got beat up on the way to him, and then it checkpointed me back. So I was like, okay, well, I just have to get to that room. And then when I got there, the guy wasn't there, and I had to search everywhere for where those keycard guys went. And then once I finally got the keycard, actually getting into the CCTV room for me was super confusing, and I felt it felt like a room with no wall, like no doors into it. And by the end of it, I had beat everyone up in the entire like complex. It felt like before I finally managed to get in there. I was a confused little boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a hard these places they're so big and there's so many rooms that it is hard to be like, is this moving me towards where I'm supposed to go or away from it? But I did really I felt like it had been a while since maybe I had been able to use it in the shipyard sections more than I was, but the bluff mechanic was really, coming through here. And eventually I got a challenge to just bluff a bunch of people at the same time. And it was like literally it was like, I just need to walk through that door. And there are four people standing in front of it and getting off the fully charged, I pulled my ult. I bluffed all of them at the same time and just strolled through the door.
There was a final door in the shipyard like that. And then a final door. I think before you're trying to get into the CCTV room where there are a couple like big courtyards that you're going through, and there's just a bunch of guys, and that's usually when I blow my load too, and it's like, okay, just passing through, guys, whatever. And that is so satisfying to wait until that moment, and then it's like, yep, fine, doors open, whatever, go right through. And then when they close, and it's like, oh, you're totally locked off, and nothing that happened in that room matters anymore. It's very satisfying.
They had a good one for when you walked into this office building, which was he came in, he's like, coffee machine's broken. And they go, oh my God, you came so fast. And they let me right in. And I was like, nice.
The contextual bluffs are really fun. You can definitely do it in the shipyard area. And he's like, I forget what he says. But lots of times he's like, have you seen this white guy we're all looking for? I think he went that way. That type of stuff of like, I'm one of you guys.
And hey, look alive, security here. Go right through, sir.
Right.
Sorry.
I really like when you have like punched a man into unconsciousness and then you walk around the corner and you're like, hey, I just saw an unconscious dude back there, and the guy's like, what? It's stupid, but I think it would work. If you said that with enough charisma, like, that guy would believe you.
Totally. There's one where he goes, he was like this when I found him, which is so suspicious sounding. But if you've got enough of that instinct, Peter, that's such an impressive system. That is just a really cool way to make dialogue.
I wonder how many of them there are. That'd be a great question for the devs. How many bluffs did you record?
Yeah. Or those things where they extract every character line, and so you can hear all the Death Stranding grunts, just hear every Bond bluff in a row.
Yeah. The lures are also impressively contextual in a really fun way, where versus when they're completely unaware to when they're actively looking for me. Actively looking for me, I did a lure where Bond yells, I found him! And they come to you off of that.
That's
and,
awesome.
You get your free takedown. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah. And then just he's so confident, because when you go into the gala with the ID too, he just doesn't stop walking. He doesn't even look at the guy. He just holds it up quick. He just keeps going.
Yeah.
So funny.
After CCTV, before the rest, I believe, is when you kill your first Murto twin in the storage room, which was not a big hit for a few people here. Andrew writes in, I don't know what they were thinking with the storage room scene. A rare misstep for this game, but it was not fun at all. And of course,
definitely Mr. Freeze style.
Yes, that's what I wrote down as well. But
I thought of Mr. Freeze and David in The Last of Us.
Yeah, but kind of less. You're much more capable as Batman, or you have more control over the space. Where this one, I would just kind of. Yeah, let him see me and then run back and hit him with a fan or whatever. It didn't feel cool like the Mr. Freeze one did. No pun intended.
You're right.
Yeah, there's different gadget interactions, different types of gadgets. You can blast him with the fan, but then once you do it to him once, that whole category is gone because he'll just shoot it and destroy it the next time he sees it. Brett G wrote in, the fight that ultimately resulted in the death of the twin was disappointing after the romp in the basement of the Grand Carpathian. Being forced to rule of 3 in a boss fight here was formulaic and immersion breaking. There should have been some alternate approaches. Maybe there was, and I missed it. Yeah, it was definitely goes super video game mode when you know how powerful Bond is, and then suddenly his ability to hurt anybody is stripped away.
Contingent on him dropping a light on them.
But also the Murtos are 10 out of 10 trained assassins, so I appreciated that.
Yeah,
the train for everything except the light falling on them.
True, a chandelier.
And also just running around with a flashlight and falling for every gag in the book as you're going around these areas.
Cool death on the spear type impaled thing. That was cool.
Yeah,
my partner and I were saying he probably would have gone for a couple seconds. He kind of just went peacefully into the night as soon as it inserted his chest. He just was silent.
I think he was really I know when I'm beaten. Goodbye.
I'll just quietly die.
I'm out.
He was embarrassed that he got tricked so many times in a row and was just forget it.
My favorite Bond lie comes shortly after this scene, in which you kill the twin, kick open a door into a room full of people, and then say, museum door inspector, this one didn't pass.
Wow.
And there's an awkward pause as they look at you and you
guys
leave.
are I guess.
That's really good, yeah.
That was a perfect moment.
Yeah, I laughed out loud for that one, for sure.
This was the mission that Huber and I played at the preview event, the later mission we alluded to last week.
Oh.
And that got me so good, especially because you're right there with him of not expecting there to be a bunch of guys right there. That you're friendly, regular civilians, you're back in the mix. For great punchline for that.
So you did the little boss battle as part of the demo?
Yes, which I was appreciative of because then I got to do it in one try here versus it took me more times in that. So I got to
I'm interested in why they chose that as a show because I think we're all kind of aligned that it wasn't the best part. It felt kind of clunky.
He also says this is for Monroe, and then in the NDA they were like, don't mention that Monroe is dead or that you avenged him or anything. But it didn't mean anything, and I totally forgot about it. I
assumed that he was. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was still surprised because I didn't even like remember that detail of Monroe.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I think they told me like they were like, yeah, something bad has happened, and that's all. I was like, okay.
No way in a Bond IP.
Yeah.
No.
Some tragedy. I think they showed it just because it's like another gameplay element of this game. There's just so many things. It's like, wow, now we're in a stealth boss fight. Like, wow, there's just like so many different types of like so many different ways to play this game.
Because this also has the interrogation scene right after.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, which is that's my writing in saying like this didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Where I mean, it's not actually right after, because first we get we get Bond flirting, jackass fail son. We meet him.
Webb
we
Jr.
see the most realistic thing in this game, which is the dipshit AI guy has like sexy dancing robots come out on stage and is like, welcome to the future. And I'm like, I know that's a guy in a VR helmet in India. Like, that's not a real robot. I've seen this before. And then Bond gets drugged for a second time. And it was the third time where I wrote, is 3 times too many times for your screen to go wibbly wobbly. Because the game does like to drug Bond. But the interrogation scene, I felt like I was like, I like this in concept, but it felt like a Telltale game to me, where it was like the time between your choosing an action and his response and whatever was just like weirdly awkward for basically a completely linear section. Like, it did not feel, it didn't have that kind of Naughty Dog naturalness that this would have had if it was an Uncharted sequence.
Sure. And for those who haven't played, it's you're basically choosing between goad him into kicking your ass or stall a little bit. And he has a phone on his person that you're hacking. So you want him to be close to you so you can hack it and not get too far away, but you're managing your health bar as he is beating your ass.
This is just another one of those Bond tropes that I just eat up. Bond being interrogated, calling out the villain, just like making fun of them, trolling them, trying to stall. I really appreciated that. It was a like semi clunky. I think I failed one time where I was like, oh shit. But I still think it's like written well enough. It's where it's like, okay, you can kind of like, if like I the first time I was like pressing random buttons because I didn't know you could like fail it so easily. But then when I started to actually like think about, how would he respond here? And then obviously looking at your energy, your health, because it's like, all right, if I'm in red, I can't take another hit. I'm just going to die. So I think it was pretty good.
But you do just alternate, right? Don't you just press like goad, stall, goad, stall, goad, stall?
I had to goad him more than I stalled him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which again, I only knew from the preview event dying a couple times that I also got to do my immersive.
You boys are playing on hard. It's trickier. I don't know if I probably goaded him twice in a row. I don't know.
It's surprisingly easy to fight and then or to fail, and then once you failed, the illusion, at least for me, was broken, and it's like
sure.
And then having to replay it. It's one of those weird gamery moments where it's like failure means death for Bond, but really it just means I have to redo this thing. I have to spend another minute redoing this thing that I just did because I didn't give you the right answer that you wanted for me to get through this. And
like when you die in a horror game and it's like, all right, I'm not scared anymore. I'll do it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tied it to the rule of threes scene in the basement because it's similarly taking a kind of classic Bond scene and putting gameplay on top of it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very admirable that they went for it. And I think in both cases, it kind of wasn't totally there, but I respect the ambition.
Sure.
And there is an interesting twist there of having to manage your health and being like, well, I'm really close to dying this time, so I guess I can't goad him again, but yeah, a little wonky.
Yeah.
I sometimes couldn't really figure out the gamification of it because I was staring at my health bar the whole time I was doing that. I picked up on that was clearly the mechanic early, and it would go up sometimes. Like, it wasn't time based. It seemed to be like just randomly at certain times the game allowed your health to go back up to yellow, and it wasn't like something I could be like, okay, I'll stall, and it's time. Maybe it was too hard for them to develop it that way, so it was time based, and they just kind of just went, okay, you stalled once, health up 2 notches or something, and I didn't really love that.
I noticed in the first section, for the part 1 of the deepest dive, hacking in the club, getting to the last bit of the hack when I was like delayed getting there. I got to him finally. It like filled up the rest of the bar a lot faster than the other parts of the bar had been going. So I think there probably is some hidden streamlining of things that make them not completely dynamic.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure
this interrogation though made me hate this villain. I was like, you suck. I want to take you out.
Oh, it's the classic Bond thing of like there's kind of the mastermind smart guy, and then he has an accomplice, in this case his son, who's just an idiot and kind of way more overtly evil, where you're just like, look, your dad we like intellectually know is bad. This dude, I just want to beat the hell out of him.
I was like, I cannot wait to punch you.
I like the Nicholas Webb moment where he walks up and he's like, I'm honestly sorry that you're gonna die. Sorry. And then like walks away. It's like, that's kind of cool. You don't usually see that in this kind of media where it's like, this sucks. And he has a great response. Like, that's just cold-blooded murder. It's fine. But then when he walks away, there's like a moment where Bond like has his little cheeky, I just said something cheeky. And then you can see he gets sad. He's like, and, like looks down.
He's like, oh, I am going to die.
My cheekiness doesn't save me every time.
It should boost your health to say something effectively cheeky.
I think it should give him a little adrenaline rush. Yeah.
That would be. Yeah. I don't think we talked about it last episode, but your first meeting with Webb was an interesting conversation too, where they hadn't completely spelled out that he was a baddie yet, but I would like to go back to that conversation having known, where the plot goes, because he had some moments of like he had asked Bond of like, why'd you take the 1 in a million shot that like Thea said you shouldn't, and he was like, I had to do something, and Webb had a moment there of being like, oh yeah, I totally get that, of like you have to do something that's probably not the smart, like everything Webb said in that first interaction that you had with him, it was like, you're agreeing because you're the bad guy, but it was a little more subtle than that, and there was a nuance to his conversation that I like. Every interaction that you have with Webb is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, because he is one of the more nuanced baddies, but totally. And like the later conversation, especially with him, there's some interesting moments that we'll get to, I guess.
Yeah, interesting parallels with doing the outside the box thing to like sand off the edges of the AI that's not ready for market yet, really, as we learn later.
Yeah, like I like that. I like thinking about that conversation again, because now that we know that Thea is bad at math and like makes mistakes, it's like, well, Thea said 99%, but we know that Webb in that conversation was like, maybe it was only like 10%, and Bond, like, since she's so wrong at everything, apparently, that he did the right thing regardless. Anyways, that's kind of interesting to think of.
Thea swore that there were only 2 R's in strawberry. She really promised. I liked immediately after this section, we got to a preview of the John Wick game. Except maybe, better than that John Wick game is going to be, depending on how much they're able to do. But the fact that you just walk into, like, now you are in the screen rooms where you can shoot guys in front of big screens. I was like, this is great. It's very silly, and I love it.
100%. That was the most John Wick coded part of the entire game so far, for sure.
Yeah, all the armored dudes in that part too. Very John Wick.
Yep.
Ryan
just frantic.
Yeah, Ryan wrote in the firefight section in the AV art installation area with all the hackable screens was the coolest looking thing so far in this game. It was like, what if the back rooms became the sphere?
Oh,
I just saw the the other day.
I got to almost in like kind of the last big screen room with the most guys. I got like literally up to the last door without being spotted. I was like walking in, some guy saw me and I was like, and then turned around and just killed 30 guys. You know, you guys were so close to living through this, but instead everyone's got to go down.
Yeah, that was a cool section. There's also the workshop stealth area and the big courtyard zone are right leading into that, which the workshop, taking down everybody from stealth is a challenge in the workshop. And that was one of the more fun ones, really figuring out a route for that. And then my last kill was like behind cover doing a laser watch on a fire extinguisher to take out 2 guys at once. Fun gadget things that I really replaying and digging into the depths of it. I found how many gadget plays there are to do that don't break stealth, of like activating a laptop to electrocute somebody as they walk by, kind of learning the range of that you really have so many options and enough resources even on purist that you should be using it and gathering more and using it and gathering more. Like you can fit it into the flow of your gameplay if you're being creative.
I also love sneaking on the rafters. Always love that. Just like you jump on the, like you're above the party, jumping on the lights, like looking down there. It's like, I hope nobody looks up right now because I look sketch.
The nice shot from the party level of you dangling up there.
Yeah. When I first walked into the party, I saw the hanging plane and I was like, oh, I'm running across that at some point, aren't I? You don't actually run on the plane, but you are like near it when you're up there. So that was fun.
So cool. Felt like Batman up there.
Like Persona 5 intro too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. The courtyard.
Just proving it.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
The courtyard section, all the ones that are like stealth through this without anybody spotting you, without taking anybody down, those challenges that are on each of those missions. In the first part of the deepest dive, a lot of those missions were kind of, you'd find the one best route to do it. Pretty much there'd be little variances, but I think in this section there were a lot of more different ways you could go through each things, like really playing through the courtyard section to learn all the different parts of it and then crafting my own route, which ended up relying on this little secret thing where if you activate this radio, one of the guys who has a key card comes from across the map to go inspect it. It's like a specific lure for him, and then once he gets in there I distract him and then I can pickpocket his key card. And figuring out how to get past those 2 guys at the end that you bluff past, Jacob, like dart distracting them or blinding one of them and it's taking the attention from the other one. I ended up having something really specific in such a cool way, because there's just so many rooms and you could paint one of a million paths through it that is not just totally doing the dynamic combat and stealth takedowns, but relying on bespoke things like the radio summon, like pressing the button to blind somebody with the floodlights, like all these little specific things to the level. It's really fun route crafting in this game.
I like that we're off the leash finally. Like you were saying, Leo, the first few missions kind of had the one route and it was sort of blinking lights. Go this way. Look how much easier it is. There's no one over here. There's 20 guys on the right-hand side. So you just naturally go that way. But we're finally at sort of like the hitman. Okay, we trust you. Go ahead, have fun. Phase of the game.
There's guys every way. You're gonna have to deal with that. You have to be good now. Be better. Be better now. Okay, go. Be Bond. Yeah. I even after I did all the challenges, I just played the courtyard section again.
I could not get a hanging pot on someone's head. There was 8,000 hanging pots in the courtyard, and I was waiting there for what felt like 20 minutes. I couldn't get a single one on a guy's head. Is that a challenge? It's gotta be. I think it is, but there is a guy kind of standing and smoking under one. I must have took him out or something to get him away from there. Yeah. But there's just so many interactables, and it's really, I see occasional complaints about the combat. Most people like it, but I think sometimes people complain about it being too hard, which is surprising because even on Purist, it's not very hard. And I think that's because we're in the mode of mixing in the grapples and the environmental stuff and the takedowns where you've got that invulnerability.
But I think
square hold square is so good.
Devastating combo. Honestly, last section I didn't know exactly what you're talking about how good that gut punch was, and now I fully get it. When it's the last person you take out in the section and it's that loud ass slow motion gut punch. Delightful. But yeah, it's like all my favorite games ever, this game makes you role play a little bit. You can do the most meta thing ever and just do the safe stealth takedowns or go guns blazing and shoot from cover safely or whatever. But it's just like, if you get in that headspace where I'm James Bond, you can do things like I'm fighting a bunch of people in a bunch of different ways. I get caught out in the middle of the library. I grab somebody and throw him to a table, and he perfectly dynamically rolls over the table. And because of the roll, he's like a little more stunned from the throw. And I point my gun at him, but then I aim up and he's underneath a chandelier and I shoot the chandelier instead and it drops on him. Which might get you more instinct technically, but there's probably not really a gameplay benefit to it. But still, it's like you get chills from doing that. And it's like, because it's a James Bond game, when you put in that I'm not just getting through this video game, I'm directing and acting and writing a James Bond fight scene. That's when it really, really sings.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm finally getting to where you were in our max settings video, Leo, and it feels good.
Nice.
Yeah. Took a while, but I can finally catch guns in the air, know to throw instead of reload. Always throw, never reload. Why would you reload in this game? It's fun. It's fun to get those instincts.
The streamer Atrioc has been playing this game so poorly. Shouts out, you're doing a terrible job. It sucks to watch.
What are we doing? Why is he catching a stray?
Just watch it. Watch it. You'll understand. He's playing it in a fundamentally incurious way. But he found out that if you just disarm people, grab the gun, throw it at somebody else, run up, disarm them, grab the gun, throw it at somebody else, run up, disarm them, etc., you are literally unkillable. And so that's how he gets through every interaction.
The logic tracks, I suppose.
Why
don't we just do wars that way?
You can do that in real life.
We should every war should just be who can do that the fastest.
Disarm.
Just run up, disarm, throw your gun. No shooting allowed.
When you disarm someone, can they pick up another gun?
Yes. All the time, I see enemies.
I guess I just
when they have a free second, they're not fighting me.
Punch them so fast.
Right. No, but they will take a second and run to the nearest gun and pick it up, which is really, really cool.
That's cool.
My brain is so dumb. I forgot you had your mic in your hand, and when you scuttled away, I was like, "How can I still hear him?" And then you still had your mic. Sorry.
Anybody else have any stories from this section? Any gameplay stuff they're figuring out and liking?
The baristas in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was clunky, but I also was just like really enjoying messing with them. You like mess with they have like a list or whatever that you have to give the guard. It's when you're trying to find the guard's name or whatever, the guy that called in sick.
Yeah, to replace.
Yeah. So just like messing with the laptops, and they're just like, huh? I don't know why it just felt really fun to be like, just like manipulate them in a video game. It was like, I wasn't immersed for that part, but I enjoyed just like the meta of it all. Just like, I'm going to mess with these characters.
I didn't see this. Can you explain like what the sequence is?
Yeah, they're in the cafe. It's where you flirt with that married lady. And one of the guards, you're trying to get through a room, and the guard's like, yeah, go figure out which guard called in sick, or like you had to get some information that was behind there, or it was on their computer actually.
Yeah. So you need to get the password from the drawer. It's like the lowest stakes you had to get the little stealth from the section
drawer.
Ever. Yeah. Very cute little bit of gameplay on some total innocence. You wouldn't want to hurt them in any way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you had to get the password in the middle, in between them, but you really had to like kind of separate them because you had to go behind the counter and get it, and then after that you had to use their computer, which was right there. So it's almost like you had to distract them like 2 times. Unless you were like lightning fast, you could probably do it in one. But I ended up having to distract them, then go find more resources for my watch because I was like wasting it in this whole area, just like trying different things. So then I was like, shit, I'm out of resources for this. So I had to go find some stuff, then come back, like distract him again. I think with the dishwasher was one of them. It was like you make it like malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I liked that little bit.
I had a fun time grinding for challenges in that section because I would do the press thing and get up to the room, and then I would go back to the party, like not load a save or anything, just go back in and find a different way up and get up that way, and I could pop all the challenges that way. And I only got limited by the resources because there are every little one is precious on Purist.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't talk about that I thought about was the mug that had a password on it in the freaking security room. What? Who puts a password under a mug? That made me feel crazy.
We'll talk the password protocol of the people when you eventually get into Webb's office and you crack his incredibly difficult system.
Yeah. I wonder when a game, because do you guys have the brainworm that you can't read something that has a 4-digit number in it without thinking this will be for a safe later? Like it'll be like, this is the man who was born in 1818, died 1858. And I'm like, write that down. Even though I haven't even encountered a safe yet, I never see a 4-digit number and think it's just going to be a 4-digit number in any video game ever. It's Control probably taught me that, because Control will be loving doing that, but I can't shake those brainworms.
That's normal.
I agree.
Okay, good.
Then you drive a big garbage truck.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
That guy gave you that truck way too willingly. That was a bit crazy. If I was him, I simply would have drove away.
Yes, true.
I'm out of here.
Playing that in the preview section, I had reported from playing the preview that they use the Bond theme all the time, but
it's like only there
that much. It's like at the skydiving, I believe, and the garbage truck.
Yeah.
So I was like, I underestimated how special of a Bond moment they thought it was to be driving this garbage truck through this stuff.
So Io thinks that Bond is in free fall and that it's trash. Are the subtle clues that they're sending us?
They're talking about.
I know what subreddit to put that
on. How freaking it's insane how good this is such a basic take, but how good does it feel to hear the Bond theme during a crazy thing like that? Good. There's nothing better.
Incredible.
It's just when I was playing that scene, my partner was also in the room. We both were just like, that just feels so
full
good.
Body chills, yeah.
Also,
it's just exciting. It's electric.
Mm-hmm.
The physics that garbage truck applies to its surroundings, the fact that you are, it might as well be like an asteroid, the way it's just like blowing things out of your way. Totally
thought of GoldenEye, Bond in the tank.
Yeah.
Just immediately thought of that. Just crashing through everything.
There was a moment when I think it was a Coca-Cola truck backed up, and I actually managed to brake in time. And I was like, I shouldn't hit it. I'm trying to keep the budget down for what's his name.
The caffeine-free version looks great. You can enjoy the night. I wouldn't want to get in the way of that. Yeah, some good product placement with the caffeine-free Coke in the section. Yeah.
I came to a perfect stop, and then like all of the cars behind me smashed into the back of the garbage truck, and I smashed into the Coke truck anyway. So I went, just like kept going. It was a good moment.
It also had a kind of bit from what I thought of as a Fight Club thing, which is you are driving through that indoor mall, and there is a big sphere piece of corporate art that you are knocking in front of you like a beach ball, where it's just like dong dong, and you're just like pushing it out of the way. Good, just like they know how to make breaking things fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Always good with the physics. There was a moment in the Aleph section, the previous chapter, where I was fighting that guard at the very end of the crypto section, so you're kind of at the top of the tall area. And I threw him off the way I came up, and I watched his body fall down, and he landed on a physics object beach ball, and the beach ball went flying and bounced off the wall. It was so comical.
And did the guard survive because he landed on a beach ball?
He bounced back up and he kicked my ass. Dynamic.
That'd be awesome.
So best transition to the next section. Something I forgot to mention about the wife you're flirting with at the cafe. She says, my husband, Roger Finch, sent me here to make an appearance, but I'm bored and I want to leave and we should go to a bar together.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else do you meet at the very start of the next chapter, Knightfall, but Roger Finch in the elevator.
Yeah.
Stinky lawyer.
Stinky lawyer. He's very suspicious of you in Greenway, and you get a couple dialogue choices where you do a bad job of bluffing. Gets humbled a little bit on how much bluffing he's able to do.
where what was it? It was like
I'm between
he's out of work for a couple days. Oh, poor guy. And he's like, oh, well, I thought he would have enjoyed his honeymoon. And Bond's like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna last.
Yeah.
I liked I shaved my beard. I grew mine out. That was funny.
Yes.
And then the last one, when he's about to catch you, he asks for your employee ID number, and your choices are between or the thing is ... And that one I found, if you non-answer on that part, Bond instead goes, you first, if you are who you say you are.
Ooh.
Which is a lot better, but he still gets sick darted by Greenway as he bails you out of that situation.
Yeah, I do love, Greenway is like, you are effing this up so bad.
It's glaring
I'm
at
just
you.
going to make this guy puke his guts out.
Yeah. Which, did anybody go get Roger, first off, find Roger Finch in the bathroom puking his guts out?
No.
And then get his card, right?
Yes, you can get his key card and play this whole section in a totally different way.
Oh my god, no, I was using the vacuums.
Okay. That's interesting because I did do that, and then I wrote in the notes, is there a secret way through this office that's interesting? So unfortunately, finding the key card did not make the section fun, because I think this is a boring part of the game.
So did you guys never have the vacuums open the doors for you then? It was just you using his key card?
Well, you still got to do that.
Oh, okay.
You use the vacuums.
Okay.
I do want to call out before we get too much into the mechanics. I also wrote, so this level is in Blade Runner, where you are inside the biggest building that I have ever seen, which has seemingly an enormous marble statue that starts on like the 40th floor.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even on the ground. It's like halfway up, they have a giant statue.
Ryan writes in, the early section here was very slow, slightly grating to me. I wasn't sure if I'd stick with Greenway or go on ahead and freely explore the space to progress. After a few vacuum bots helped me ascend up a level or two, I could see up ahead the path forward by straddling a small ledge across a shallow pool. Taking the initiative, I moved ahead only for Greenway to stop and request I come back across the gap, but have more personal chat. I wonder if anyone else found the pacing in this section to be a bit off and frustrating. Yeah, some of the background elements like Jacob's talking about carried it a little bit, where I was appreciating what a cool office building it was. And then replaying, there's a couple different ways to do things, but really not that many. So it was a weaker part and tough to replay because of weird checkpointing when you're going for challenges and stuff. Definitely a weaker part.
You're muted, Huber.
Huber, you are muted.
Yeah, sorry. They're like cutting bushes outside my house. I always appreciate a perspective puzzle where it's like, okay, to open this door, I have to like go around and hack the thing. So I did like those moments out of this whole segment, but I agree. Yeah, it was a little weaker part for sure.
The having to be behind on the other side of the door to hack the door, I felt like that was kind of breaking a bit of the rules, or at least what had been set up. I didn't expect that to be necessary, so that was a little unintuitive for me.
There's also a couple times where there were shades blocking it in the perfect way, and I'm like, if I just went like this, I probably could go like, you know how when you lean for the remote control on your TV and it works? Like, I think I could have done it.
Just press it a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of suspended my belief in that as a mechanic as well.
What I did enjoy was there are lots of different things to inspect in people's offices, and I was like, this is going to be important for a puzzle. No, it's just important for your background, learning about how Roger Finch is the most cucked man of all time, including that he was last in his class, rejected from the social club, not descended from a duke, and is currently puking into a toilet. It's like that's how his day is going.
Yes. Yeah, Sam wrote in with all those details. It is fun exploring that office, learning about this character who seems to exist for no other reason than to be laughed at. You gotta have a dork like that. Richard liked the tactical pause part, the Greenway conversation. Moving through the floors in the office initially felt slow, but when I joined Greenway at the railing for a tactical pause, I felt that moment was perfectly paced to allow me to de-stress and refocus on the story between two otherwise action-packed sections. In retrospect, the long office corridors did their job of insulating an important character moment. Nice perspective.
Yeah. The relationship with Greenway is very earned. I've really liked it so far, because sometimes it feels a little bit rushed in games of like, and now my mentor likes me. Like it's been very incremental and good with this. Yeah. It's clearly the relationship of the game that they're focusing on, and I like it a lot. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So then there's that. So you get into Greenway's, or not? You don't. You get into Webb's office.
Webb.
After meeting, what's her name? The
Isola is her fake name.
Yeah, Isola, who's there and helping you out. And you do that whole password puzzle, and then a timer starts, and the whole time I was like, I don't know what this timer is for. And then eventually you're like, oh yeah, the bridge is like retracting or whatever. But the whole time I was like, okay, I'm running to somewhere. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know why I only have 3 minutes to do it.
I thought the office was going to explode. Like that was like kind of the energy it was giving. I was like, get out of the building.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, kind of gave that a little bit.
I had to do that part a second time because I got through everything, and then I was supposed to press a button to call the elevator, and the button wasn't highlighted so I just got to the end of a hallway, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and nothing was like being highlighted for me, and I just sat there until time ran out.
There was a later section also where I had to. It wasn't this because this part ends with you ziplining, right?
Yeah, to the
where
perch.
you zip line onto the bridge, but there's a later combat section where you have to call over like a hanging thing to climb on, and I just killed every guy in that room, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and then it was another like, yes, there's a tiny button you're supposed to press.
Yeah, I got stuck on that one too because there was it, and I thought in my mind there was like an area where it's supposed to come down, and there was like a bunch of boxes on it. I was like, am I supposed to be breaking the boxes so that it can come down? But no, it was a button.
Why can't you just Q-Web hack it? Why do you need to push a button for it when you have a watch that does everything?
It pushes every button.
Very fair, very fair. So at the start of this section, from replaying it a bunch of times because getting back to the challenges was kind of a pain, I did notice some cool stuff I never otherwise would have, some hidden dynamicness. Because the first quote-unquote puzzle of this level is you are going to have Greenway help you jump up onto this statue and give you a lift. And the first time I played, I had no idea what to do. Because you can walk past that at the start before you do your little canned conversation, and there's no prompt. So I didn't check it again. But then eventually Greenway's like, hey, I think I found it. It's over here. And you come get helped up. But playing it again, you also can get to it first and find it, and then you summon Greenway over. And also the conversation you're having with Greenway, talking about Secretary Bright, can be interrupted by gameplay. Not just here, but in so many different scenarios, you will have a story conversation that can be interrupted. And there are specific pieces of dialogue for bringing you back into it. You interrupt it with, hey, come over here, we can climb this thing. And then once you're up there and you finish your little conversation about climbing, Bond will go, so you were saying about Secretary Bright, and then Greenway will go, right, so, and then pick up from the line of dialogue that he left off at.
That
subtle stuff, but cool. And always feels like the one way you're supposed to do it, no matter what.
And it is the kind of, I think of that as like, yeah, that's the most AAA thing. That's GTA having like multiple conversations per dialogue, or God of War did it with like telling Atreus a story while you're in the boat. And it is just like, yeah, we got money to burn on these voice actors. We can have them say lines that you're never going to hear.
Yeah. Cool stuff. And it feels cool to have IO have a little bit of a dynamic take on even a really linear part. It's like you can go through it with different timings and have it go differently.
I now, in contrast to the walking through the hallways part, which I didn't much care for, I loved the server room section. I think it was my favorite kind of just like, here is a stealth part of the game part that we've played so far. In large part, I think because of the idea of like, it's basically just one big room that is then sort of subdivided by the size of the server racks.
Such
but like
a Metal Gear room.
Yeah, you always know exactly where you are. There are giant labels on the ceiling saying like, here's where this server rack is, here's where that one is. And so the, kind of like, I have struggled with, I don't know exactly how to get into the room where the guy I need to get to is in other levels. And I really liked how this was both very straightforward, but then because it was so open, I felt like I had a million different options for how to distract the guys, how to pull the server racks down and do all that.
And the server racks were a great focal piece of gameplay to have a section built around where it draws attention when the hack is going down and people can come over and undo it, but they can get distracted by bodies on their way to it. And there's the guys with the headphones chainsawing into the side of the server rack because they're like trying to destroy the data as you're working through it. And they like cannot hear nearly anything. Like, distractions behind them or takedowns right next to them.
Some like Batman crew robbing a safe is what I thought of. Yeah.
There is also incidental dialogue where, well, okay, so yeah, I guess we kind of skipped the part where it's not super exciting, but like you have to go find the uniform to put on, like the lab coat to get in. And
little 47 nod, Leo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Your biggest disguise yet, not just a hat, full on coat.
A whole coat. And there's just a big crowd of people there. And there's that woman saying like, so here's what we're doing. We're doing this. And the guy's like, is this legal? And she's like, look, we're just gathering as a celebration of the 150th year. It's like this total BS of like, we are here to literally chainsaw these servers so that MI6 cannot find them.
Yeah. Did you like this section, Haley?
I love this section. I was actually still able to hear while I was doing that, so
great.
I didn't miss a beat. I did it 2 times because I liked the server room. I just thought it was a cool thing. And I didn't really realize how fun it was to use the servers as cover because you can raise and lower them at will. So I was having fun with sort of like, I really need to get over there. I was like, oh, I can simply raise this and then walk over there. So that was fun. The timing of I didn't really get why there was like a time limit percentage thing of like hacking the server data 100% left because like it's another one of those things that sort of, I think behind the scenes they would just go zoop 100%. If you sped run it, it doesn't really do anything. Well, no, but
the guys can come and like raise the server rack again, right? And then the timer stops.
Oh, right. I was killing them all, so no one was doing that. Yeah. That's interesting, man.
I was just so good at the game.
I was having a crazy round where I got to the point where I had knocked out so many of them. I was like, there's probably a challenge for knocking out everybody in the server room. So I was like, I might as well finish. So that's kind of why. But then there was one guy down, when they're doing like the orientation with all the lab coat people and you kind of sneak past to go upstairs and they're like, oh, is this like that section? So there's one guy down there and I didn't get to knock him out and it wouldn't let me back downstairs. So I don't think I could get the challenge. So I gave up on it unless it's not a challenge, Leo. And I didn't, and it's fine. You know?
I think it's a challenge.
It felt like it would be a challenge, darn it. But
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just have to go back and try again.
The challenge there for 8 takedowns and not getting spotted and doing all the servers was really, really challenging, especially because in the vent area, which it has kind of a catwalk at different parts that you can work into it to be under the radar. Sometimes people can see you, even though you're high up, they can like look up, which is kind of a stealth game first. So you have to plan around that a little bit. But
that's the power of the PS5. Guys can look up now.
The Z-axis.
Well, in Arkham, when you're on the gargoyles, they'll spot them.
Okay.
We got some gamers in the call here right now. This is awesome.
Yeah. Same combat designer, obviously. There was the stuff you press a button on a piece of half cover, whatever cart, you can press a button and it moves and you can move with it or use it as a diversion. Those things were really cool to work into it. And I think we're unique to the zone. And it's so cool.
Movable cart.
Yeah. Just cinematic, not being tied to it, having to physically move the thumbstick at the right pace. Really fun. I've been really impressed how each little sandbox has its own personality like that, and I hope they have a more intuitive way to replay them directly at some point in the content roadmap, because they deserve it.
I had a fun moment where I guessed a challenge based solely off the word. So I was like, there's servers everywhere. I was like, I bet a challenge is called server slam, and I have to slam someone into a server. So I purposely slammed someone, and then I got the challenge server slam, and I totally guessed.
Wow.
It felt awesome.
I think that one might just be for killing a bunch of people in the server room.
Oh, really? Because it happened right when I slammed him into a server.
No, Haley got a different secret one that actually you didn't get.
I got server slam real achievement. Bracket.
Yeah, no, obviously that was a really meaningful experience you had, and that I don't take away from that at all.
Damn.
I was a big fan of the conversation that happens once you do all this. This was like the real kind of narrative juice of this was because it's like you're doing it and then remind me exactly the sequence. Like Webb catches up with you somehow, right?
Yeah. Once you're back in the glass room with Greenway, he's taunting you from outside of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right after you hack the servers.
Yeah,
and villain taunt.
And so he, basically what you find out is that Thea, the big AI system, is wrong sometimes, and they have just covered up the places that they have, made incorrect calls with the AI. And that was like, look, saw it coming from a million miles away. I actually like that it is not a Skynet where the AI is evil. It is just our world where AI is frequently wrong.
Humans using it or like manipulating it too.
Yeah, but what I really liked was just Greenway's kind of like ego collapse or whatever of him being like, Jesus Christ, I have been working for this. I have really kind of let myself be swayed by the idea that this always knew what I was doing better than I did. And him then realizing that he had been carrying out these things where people had been killed on the orders of a computer system that was hallucinating, and people knew, but he didn't know. I think is like, this is the kind of Greenway arc that I was so into for this section.
Meaningful stakes.
And Greenway specifically has a line of like, and I didn't even question it. Like I just went along with it because that's what I was told to. I like that. All of that was great. I found the twist interesting because they're looking at the data, and there's a pause there, and then Greenway goes, Thea makes mistakes, and then Bond repeats it like Thea makes mistakes, like it's this big revelation, and it made me wonder like, how long has this been in development, and when did they write the script for this? Because it feels like it was written 5 years ago before we were all so blown out on AI and so tired of it, where it's like, yeah, of course AI makes mistakes. That everybody, even if you don't know anything about AI, you know that AI makes mistakes all the time.
Jeffem, you are saying this as someone who works in a tech reporting industry. I promise you, my neighbor who asks AI how long to like cook their breakfast sausage does not think that AI is capable of making mistakes. It thinks that it's a god machine that knows everything.
Yeah, that was a funny thing to me of like, and I wonder if like, when was it written, and would that have been, because that's like something that's so baked into the story. It's like, I wonder if they have been watching the way that technology has advanced for the last 2 years and been like, oh, maybe that's not as big of a revelation as we meant it to be. But I liked all that, and then I liked Greenway or Webb's like final villain dialogue of and it felt he uses an analogy of like, 1.5 million people get killed by humans driving cars every year, but if one driverless car kills someone, it makes headlines everywhere. And we have like an endless patience for human stupidity, but nothing for machine mistakes. And like I was watching that, I was like, that has to be based on an Elon Musk tweet. Like he 100% I'm sure has made that argument before. Webb is such a good Bond villain that is also just a believable, like Jacob said, like it's just our world that they're living in, and he works as a very realistic villain for this.
Yeah, very grounded when you're thinking about, evil AI manipulating murders from the shadows and stuff, but because Webb is such a good villain, yeah, it's just so grounded and believable.
And there's something charming in it too, of like the Bond villain. They also like laid all out of like, it needs training data to get smart, and so that it won't make mistakes. But we knew that MI6 would never deploy it if they knew that. And I like the villain mindset of like, okay, well, it makes mistakes. We'll just make it right afterwards. Like we will just change the facts and we'll send in guys to kill or clean up whatever it is. And then it will be right. Or at least on paper, like it will make sense. And that's such like a simple, but also like sociopathic solution to this problem.
I mean, it is the prototypical example of, when the U.S. military drone strikes an area and it counts combatants killed and non-combatants, every adult man is counted as a combatant. And so it's like, we killed like 20 terrorists. How did you count that? Well, there were 20 adult men here. So that is where our count comes from. It's like, that's been happening long before AI.
Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting with the layer of Nicholas being regretful of the things he's had to do to cover it up, because it is like, even not wanting to kill people, supposedly not wanting to do these horrible things, it's like he believes so much in this vision that he makes that excuse. Like he serves at the altar of this thing so much that he would kind of go against what he claims to be his values, at least to you and probably to himself.
While making millions of dollars conveniently as Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a section where Webb says, "It changed you, John," in a very pointed way. And I wasn't sure if that was just referring to Greenway let himself be swayed by the AI, or if there was something more that we are not fully clued in on yet.
I read that as, he says you can't change people, whatever, and he just reversed him and said like, well, you bought onto it immediately.
Yeah, you followed along. Yeah.
Okay, so he was just speaking about the current. I thought there might be some other revelation about Greenway.
No, I don't think so. But there's such a good pause. It cuts back to Greenway, and he just processes that, and he's so mad at like, it's such a good facial animation work where he's just like, oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, good write-up from Matthias here. Well, I found this to be the first disappointing mission in terms of level and game design. I truly think the story beats, especially the twists, work amazingly well. To have the story revolve around the fallibility of AI and how big tech covers that up in order to ensure financial and strategic power is the kind of political relevancy Bond stories often strive towards and mostly fail to deliver. The twist also recontextualizes many setups that didn't quite seem right, like 009's Wild Goose Chase and M's incredible success rate come to mind immediately. But mostly it allows for Greenway to become such a deep, tragic character. His understanding of his friend, his country, and loyalty have already been shattered. This revelation confuses all his ideas and ideals even further, and you feel it immediately. Powerful stuff for an action-adventure game.
Shout out, Greenway.
And then find out that there's good technology in the world because Q fit a rocket launcher into the pen. Hooray!
Yes. Yes. Pen launcher.
Which is fully a payoff. Did y'all hear the Q dialogue in the first section?
No.
Because there's a thing where you're in the lab where they are testing a bazooka-sized rocket launcher, and they shoot it and it breaks a wall, and then one of them says, "Great, now Q wants it to fit into a pen." Like they say that line, and I just
awesome.
thought, haha, this is like a reference to some previous Bond gadget. And so for it to show up, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
That's so cute.
That's awesome. Charlie F. wrote in, can we talk about the pen missile? It's got to be the most fun thing I've encountered in a video game in quite some time. I found the Q gadgets to be best mostly just rehashes of throwables you typically find in a video game, which is why the pen missile ended up blowing me away as much as it did.
Oh yeah, I hope in the next one you can use it to like stab people right with it. I want to do like multiple functions.
I want to sign
with
my
the
name.
pen. Yeah.
Yeah. In Hitman,
like you
there's
go
a pen
into a place and you can only bring the pen. It's like,
right.
Oh, just my pen.
In Hitman, there's a pen that is a throwable lethal that'll stick in somebody's neck or whatever, and then you can detonate it.
Jeez.
So maybe something like that.
I really like that this was. It felt like they were almost giving you the gravity gun from the end of Half-Life 2, where like we have learned that like shooting a little puke dart takes like half of your chemicals, if not more. But the rocket pen, at least on the difficulty that I was playing, takes like 2 sections. Like you can shoot that thing off way more frequently than I initially thought you would be able to.
Especially in this section, the big combat section that comes at the end of this whole chunk, they're just handing you that chemical resource. They want you to use it all the time. And there are tons of things that are destructible, bringing ceilings down on people or blowing open bridges so people fall down and then it becomes a hole that you can contextually jump over. Lots of cool environment stuff with the missile pen. And feels so great to be, gravity gun moment. Suddenly you're so much stronger than you thought you were going to be allowed to be.
And just waiting that extra couple seconds for the enemies to kind of converge on each other to like get a bunch with one pen shot. So good.
The enemy AI in this section was definitely like they cranked up AIs want to clump together or something because they definitely were like, come on guys, and they all like got in a huddle and then came at me and I was like, perfect.
Yeah, this was so fun having it more so than the art exhibit, but still being like tons of guys and tons of armored guys. It was a little more cover to cover in a way that's a million times more fun than cover to cover usually is, like picking your moments to pop out and to hack the like shutters to bring them down to block lines of sight when you're getting shot at from the scaffolding on the other side. There's just like a lot of decisions you're making as you move through this kind of long path through this airport cargo area. One little specific so far to this encounter is the windows that are just everywhere. There's windows to shoot people through and the window shatters and stuff. But I was also like
my favorite thing
on a piece of half cover with a window above it. And I like shot the glass above a couple times to break it out. And then that opened up the ability to do a vault attack on a guy on the other side. Like actually opening up traversal by breaking those windows is cool.
Which you can really only do in license to kill mode, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of, it feels like a rare little treat.
Yeah.
Really enjoy shooting anyone through glass. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
In a game.
I wonder if it's as easy as games make it seem.
In a game.
You know,
to take a life?
Like would it, no, not just that. Well, that, but like also just kind of like, if there was a person on the other side of glass and I shot it, do you think the bullet would skew because of the glass or would it go like straight through?
I think I have heard from like crime shows that when you shoot a windshield, there is like
it goes
some
pew.
deflection. Yeah. It's not necessarily head on, depending on the gun and the range and stuff.
In games, I feel like you shoot through glass, they die over there.
The glass is essentially like tissue paper. It's just like nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, fun action set piece on the way out. Lots of things you can drop on people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the helicopter.
Did we talk about the
and
cleaning bots? Nobody liked these cleaning bots, right? Is what I'm hearing.
Just
did you not?
How many signs were there of like the cleaning bots get to go wherever they want? I'm like, I know you told me that 10 rooms ago.
That's not the problem.
Yeah, but there's not the button to push to summon it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know. And like, what a stupid way to like you leave them running while you're gone, and they are callable, and it's just what a flaw. Come on, web industries. No wonder Thea sucks.
Niklas wrote in, I have to admit this mission's not working as much for me anymore, at least not in the way the game had before. Too many doors to open with the vacuum cleaner. Too many hallways to shoot enemies in. Too many times to have the still not fully revealed French spy show her face again. Feels like the story is running in place while delivering pretty obvious things to us, like big revelations. Okay, smart guy. I'm surprised to find that I'm really missing Cressida's and Monroe's presence. The game had more charisma and charm while they were there, and the banter with Greenway's growing stale. I can see that. Definitely missing Cressida and Monroe.
Miss them.
But you're supposed to.
I assumed that Cressida would be a voice in our ear by now.
Yeah,
I assume she's coming back at some point, but like when she was like, okay, she's paralyzed or whatever, I was like, here's another person to talk to us on a mission, and it's surprising that she still has not.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I mean, I guess in game it's only been like a couple days, but still, for me it's been several hours.
It's been several weeks for us because we're timing it out here for this. Did you guys go, ooh, when the stairs to Webb's office lifted up out of the water? I love that.
Same.
It was so evil looking, but I loved it.
Such an evil lair. Yeah.
Yeah. It was giving evil lair, but I love a
my
little
stairs
water
are going to
feature.
be wet all the time.
Yeah, that's what I thought of too. I was like, are you always dredging in water into your office then?
James wrote in, when you raised the stairs to Webb's office from within the large fountain room, without thinking, I exclaimed, geez, what is this guy, a Bond villain?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a Thanksgiving joke. Thanksgiving Day joke.
I'm thankful for Bond stairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And then last bit of the section, you get back to base, you get a little debrief, you're excommunicado because you didn't get any proof of what was going on. And
right before that, Leo, did anyone else have a problem where there's a specific part after you go through like the normal shootout where they're like, okay, you have 90 seconds to get to the helicopter, and I played that part like 10 times of just I felt like there was an assault rifle there with like 50 bullets on it, which I like shot in 2 seconds, and you use your missile or there's a big red pipe immediately in front with like 10 guys. So it's like, okay, I know how to take those guys out. And then as soon as I got out onto the catwalk, there were like 50 guys between me and the helicopter everywhere. And I got shot. Even the time that I successfully got through it, Bond must have gotten shot like 1,000 times and somehow still survived. But
He's
maybe
only
that was
25.
Just me.
He's young. He can make it across.
It definitely was a section where it was like, you really shouldn't even be trying to kill most of these guys. You're just like running. But it's hard to know, when you're supposed. I think I just got lucky with like some rocket launcher shots that like staggered a bunch of guys, and then I just kind of ran past.
I figured I should just be running, and then I got shot in the back and murdered like 5 times in a row. And I was like, what do you want from me? Like, don't fight them, don't run. Just some slapdash combination of both of them finally got me through it. But yeah. Also, you the other thing I had in my notes, you fight your way and you murder like 300 guys, and then you drop into a security area and there's just 2 guys there, and you were like, hey, is this the bar? And both guys are super buff, and they're like, oh, let's quench this guy's thirst, and then you just get into an extended fist fight scene.
It was so random, but I loved it.
Like, quenching my thirst.
I love when they give
boy.
a little personality to like an NPC you're gonna fist fight. I love that. Whether it is a boss like Morto or whatever, or whoever, but like the random good NPC fighters, if they just give them a little bit of flavor like that, it's so fun.
The boyfriend in the jealous boyfriend in the first section.
Yeah.
Yep.
That slaps you in the bathroom. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Good way to make all the fights memorable. That seems to be a goal.
Yeah.
That they're smashing so far.
Totally.
Final
I
thoughts
also
on
thought
this whole
Gemma
section?
Chan would show up more. Also another character who kind of just appears, a super famous actor appearing and then just disappearing.
Delegated to the tax sim.
Yeah, probably just like the long term not live service, but like the long-term tax sim character.
She's like
for
the
sure.
menu character a little bit.
Yeah.
What an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you haven't talked about?
It was a good place to stop because there was a big reveal, a big action sequence, and then it almost kind of felt like, and here's where MinnMax will stop part 2 of the deepest dive. It kind of gave that energy, which is nice. I wonder do we know how many hours are left for the final chunk?
No,
not sure.
It's the last 3 missions. We're next section's up to the very end of the game and all the tax sim stuff. So we'll see how much we can get done to discuss. Cool. Yeah, but God, I can't wait to get back to it. Thanks for your patience, folks. I know it was a longer break between episodes here. We had SGF and Haley went on 2 trips since the last episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think Japan was in between. Yeah, it was.
Crazy.
Or was it? No, Japan was before. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah.
Anyway, it's a lot. Anyway, you're absolutely doing a ton.
Thanks.
So
this game's so great.
Yeah. Still enjoying it so far. Was I off base thinking it'd be a little more divisive? Are we united?
No, it's so fun. It's kind of such a fun combo of different styles of games to make it seem unique. That's been great. I think the writing's my favorite part. Everything feels very earned and very intentional and spunky. And when it's too campy, it's still fun because it's Bond, so they get away with it because it's Bond. And then when there are those moments where the music swells and it's like that, I'm like, I'm 10 years old, whippy. And it's hard for games to do that anymore. So I do love that too.
It's just such a joy of being a longtime IO fan to see them like, and I love all the Hitman games, but like it feels like they're punching above their weight so much in so many different avenues that I didn't expect, of like really great combat, really great storytelling. Just like it is great to see them ascend so much from Hitman, which, has always been one of my favorite series anyway. But like this is doing so many different things. It feels like a guerrilla level of like, well, now we're just going to make Horizon, and turns out our first open world game was amazing. And it's like, wow, like you guys are knocking it out of the park on every front with this. It's nuts.
It's like proof they can do any genre now. Honestly, like any game. They could do a racing game. Like, because all the car stuff is cool in this even.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah, they know how to honor it. I've as world's biggest Hitman fan. Sorry, Jeff.
No.
He's got to pull rank.
I got to pull rank. I love so much and respect infinitely that this game is them making a really good Bond game. Like all the ways it's less Hitman than Hitman are because they are making a satisfying James Bond adventure that fits in what James Bond is. And I respect that so much, and I admire it. Like, it's probably more challenging to do that, to go out of your comfort zone in that way. But there's such a vision to this game that keeps paying out. And I have infinite respect.
Same.
It's just such a perfect pairing. James Bond and IO. It's like, good. Yeah. When you do those things like, who would you want this dev to work on? And everyone does the hypotheticals for fun. It's like low-key this combo. It's like the best one.
Yeah.
Totally. Shout out to Patrick Gibson again. I love his performance in this game. I'm going to say it every time. Just love him. He's so good as Bond.
Respect.
Yep.
That pretty boy.
People running with tech issues on PS5. Sorry for your loss on that. That sounds like it's not been a great experience.
A couple just disconnects from the online server.
That happens.
That happens every time I log on, and I don't know why it needs to be online. And it's dumb. Sorry.
That's what I put in my notes of like it says every time like, oh, for the richer experience, make sure you're on our online servers. And I honestly could not tell you like a single feature or what the online is supposed to be doing.
I believe the challenges only pop if you're online, right? Because that's happened to me. Yeah.
Yes, but they have certain things that you have to be online to do, but some of them are just arbitrary restrictions to make you want to be online. The leaderboards are online, but it's same as Hitman, where they say a bunch of reasons it has to be always online. And my personal opinion, it's just an anti-piracy thing. Where they
Hitman 3 had such a rocky online launch issue. Remember that? God,
yeah,
that was bad.
I'll never defend that component for sure. I wish
there's a limit. You've heard it here first. There's a limit. It's the online compatibility.
What, you guys don't like being online? We're online right now. That's how I should go. It lets you
think about the level you're about to play, and it's really relaxing. Like you wait for Connect.
Okay, so it's okay when TikTok says you should take a 5-minute break, but when Hitman randomly disconnects, that's bad. Okay. Weird. Thanks everybody for playing along so far. So excited to blast through the end of this thing. Huber, for those watching live, you're going right into Easy Ally stream, right?
Yeah, at about 5:30 or 6, we are going to be playing. Got it right here. What is this game? Mecha Chameleon.
Ooh,
a hide and seek game.
Where you paint yourself to blend into the background, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, that game sounds really interesting.
That should be a silly, fun stream.
Nice.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely check that out if you like gameplay, because you're sure as hell not getting it from MinnMax. We just did Doc Lightning recently, which was our community short film festival, 3-minute shorts created by the community, documentaries about things in their lives. Fascinating stuff. I'll always come away from that going, that was the best stream we did all year.
It's the best stream we did all year.
Factually.
I agree.
Factually. Tons of Summer Game Fest stuff. The Pew Pew Bang Season 3 finale. Space D&D episode is up. Tons of good stuff over on MinnMax.
Support the Backstage Pass. You're about to get like 8 million hours of Sarah and I traveling content, because we got the Japan vlog, Backstage Pass that'll go up. That's, I'm being told, something like 20 hours long, which is insane.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and then we just got back from Montreal. We went to Dead by Daylight's 10th anniversary, and we had so much freaking fun. It was awesome. So that'll have some really good Backstage Pass. I'm so curious how they're going to limit that video to the front end versus backstage, because it's just all like, you don't want to see Huntress pull Sarah out of a locker. Like, you can't cut that to be backstage. It's perfect stuff. It'll all be in, I fear.
Yeah,
so,
but it'll be 19 hours public, 20 hours behind the scenes version. So definitely subscribe to Backstage Pass to get that full 20 hours. Great time to do it. We got the Sifu giveaway going on right now. Join the $5 tier or above as a new supporter, or upgrade to Backstage Pass if you're an existing supporter, and you'll get a code for Sifu on Steam. Absolutely one of the best games ever made. And if you're hungry for really good combat after beating 007 First Light, what a terrific option for you. Once again, you can check the description to see if we're out of codes on that. Thanks, Haley. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks, Jeffem. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome on the final edition of the 007 First Light Deepest Dive. Shoot the listeners, everybody.
Ba-da-ba-da.